All right. Hi, everyone. He's Jimmy the Bag. I'm Peter Loshak. This is Loshak in the Bag Show. Of course, we used to do this years ago, and now we're back together again. And it's so nice that Jimmy graciously allows me to open the show. Every show I open it, which is, a lot of fun. I love doing these shows. I love handicapping. I hate giving public picks. Jimmy the Bag, there's just no way around it. Now, every time while I'm doing baseball during the week, I'm sitting there, I'm making my bets, I'm making my picks, I'm thinking to myself, man, if I was in the show, there's no way I'm looking, I'm like, man, like taking KC at plus 190 or something. I'm like, there's no way in hell I'd be giving that as an official play publicly for the whole world to see. Like I can do it, at my desk. Where I'm writing it down and betting a little money, and if it loses, that's fine. I look about it, think about it. Public plays, giving them out, very, very stressful, Jimmy the Bag. There's no way around it.
Oh, God!
What? Oh, no. I know that yell. You had a bad week, Jim?
It's been a rough fucking week, man.
Oh, fuck.
It's been a rough week. My girlfriend, the mother of our children, is very concerned about my bankroll. So she basically left me alone. I spent all of yesterday, all day, all night. I wasn't really a dad. All day, all night, capping this card. I woke up at 5:30 this morning and kept capping this card, and capping this card. All 15 MLB games. CFL game. I beat the market move, and I told Robert Allen, when Robert Allen said it's 46.5 in my book, I'm like, wake up in the morning and see what it is. I knew after capping that game, I was like, oh, man, there's going to be points scored in the CFL. NCAA football, all 5 games capped. We have DJ Big Boss as a special guest, and we got to get to work. And, God, it's nice seeing your face, Pete. I did watch that episode from January 5th, 2018, that where you had the sleeveless shirt on last night. I did watch it. I took about a 20-minute break and watched it. There was one line I'd forgotten. They said that you were a man with biceps as small as his wrists.
How did you find it so quickly? I mean, we won't talk about this. I thought it's very hard to find like old episodes that go years back. How did you find it?
Turnsey sent it to me. It's a hysterical episode. A man with biceps as small as his wrists. I didn't remember that line. I remembered some of the other ones, the Rambo after a stroke, things of that nature. But I didn't remember that line. But I digress. We got to get right to work.
Okay. And just one quick thing. You said that you like the over in the CFL game tonight.
Yes, very much.
Okay, well, that was going to be my friggin' pick, and you got to trust me on this one, Jimmy the Bag. When I talk about that game and give that pick, I'm not just copying you. I swear that was my pick.
I know. I trust you implicitly and believe in you very, very much.
The new quarterbacks, they're going to get points, and they're still going to be able to run on that defense, and they got some defensive injuries as well, so they might win it, they might lose it. There's going to be a lot of points in that game, right, Jimmy the Bag? I did my research on CFL.
I love it, Pete. And thank you guys all so much for joining us. This is just as enjoyable as life gets for me, sharing the screen with the legend Loshak. We can't give what's up to everybody because we have so much work to do. Sammy Comer, Brian Watson, Real Deal Prime coming off a huge day. But there's some very important things we do need to talk about. Brian Watson ready to go. Fap win in the house. Cash Mets Giants first 5 under. I went 3-5 yesterday. I've fallen apart, Pete. I'm down 8.57 units on the year now. Wow. My ROI is minus 1.64%. So I've fallen. And of course, I'm on the Royals yesterday, but first 5, not full game. I don't even think that the capping is off really. I was on Diamondbacks first 5. There were looks here. Like I was certain that I was going to get a good start out of Eliezer Hernandez with the Marlins, but for whatever reason, I took the under instead of the Marlins. I know I can. Well, fuck. My family is praying that I can turn it around. Let's get to work right now. But first, we got a couple plays of the day in right now, Pete. So let's do the Rusty Kuntz play of the day. Coming off a winner, he's on Indians team total over 3.5, a minus 135 available at Pinnacle. So I'm going to copy and paste that right now. Quickly grab that Rusty Kuntz, and we will talk about that game. There was some moves I really wanted to make on this card. I really want the Tigers, but I think the market will move towards the Jays today, and I'll get a better line. And I really want the Cubbies first 5, but I think I can sit back and wait for money to come in on the White Sox. We'll talk about all those spots here in a second. Michael Irvelina coming off a great night, and then we have taint play of the day. The first 5 under in Arizona Philly. So let me grab that. Let me know if I'm missing any of our showcased plays of the day. We got this Arizona Philly. That is the first game on our card, so we get to open with Taint. Other than that, Pete, are you ready to rock and roll?
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to talk about yesterday, but yesterday at this time, just in general, in MLB, I said this on the last show. We all kind of know it. You have to keep an eye out for a lot of these teams that were crappy the whole year. Then they bring up a bunch of young, hungry youngsters. They're stealing bases. They're doing whatever they do. They're usually a huge dog game in and game out. And look, people are still think of Arizona as a team that lost 25 in a row or whatever it was from earlier in the year, and that's just not really who they are right now. Yesterday, I had Arizona as well, but if we were doing it in the show at just plus 140, I don't think I would have given that as an official play, but I definitely had it. And that's pretty much all I have to say right now, Jimmy the Bag.
I waited for the pitching change.
Mm-hmm.
My Diamondbacks first 5 was plus 105. And interestingly enough, I was like, do I pull the trigger? It was about 5:30. I was like, do I pull the trigger? And then I went and saw the crazy amount of action on Arizona first 5 on Sports Insights. Not full game. Full game had 75% of the cash on the Phillies. First 5 had 75% of the cash on the Diamondbacks. And I was like, gotta pull the trigger. Red Girl coming off a 6-1 day. There's Poite Latte in the house. Shit. Robert Cherry's Pamper Pops have been cashing non-stop. 14-5 on the Pamper Pop play of the day. And it's Hap under 4.5 Ks. Okay, we got so much work to do. We have so much work to do.
We're like, okay, we got so much shit to do. Let's just talk about some shit that's fun for another 45 seconds. And then after those 45 seconds, say we got so much shit to do again. How about that, Jimmy? Let's just get right into it.
Let's get right into it. But we have PFL 9 this afternoon from Clint, started the Die Hard MMA podcast. He gave us winners on the last PFL here on the show. So shout out to Clint, Bobby Moffat, Brandon Jenkins, and MH Nielsen, AC Jr. Thank you for sharing your hard work with us. It means so much. Okay, let's go right now, Pete. And in reminder, 15 MLB games, CFL, 5 NCAA football games with our special guest, DJ Big Boss.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait that Big Boss, the incomparable DJ Big Boss, back on the show. And what do we get started with? This is what we get started with. The main play today is Arizona, Philadelphia, first 5 under 4.5 at minus 105. Wow. Diamondbacks, Phillies, Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The Diamondbacks are 44-85, 17-49 on the road. Phillies 63-64, 36-28 at home. 85 Fahrenheit, humid, mostly cloudy, 4 miles per hour to left. Taylor Widener, 2-1. 4.34 ERA, 1.38 whip, 56 innings, 60 Ks, 29 walks, and 12 home runs. Last start was at Colorado. 5 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned run, no homers, 5 walks, 5 Ks, 8 for a win in the thin air. His second to last start was against these very Phillies, and he was good. 5 innings, 2 hits, a solo shot was allowed, so 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 5 Ks. It was a 3-2 win versus these Phillies. At home, he's been terrible all year long. 6.63 ERA, opponents hitting 282. When he gets out on the road, he's been very good. 2-1, 3.16 ERA, 194 opponent's batting average. Then, Pete, we have the very tricky Aaron Nola to figure out. 4.33 ERA, 1.12 whip, 174 Ks, 143 in the third innings. Pretty nice numbers there. He has allowed 21 home runs, 7-7. Last start was a thing of beauty. 8 2/3, 2 hits, 3 runs, just 2 earned, 1 homer, 2 walks, 11 Ks, and a 4-3 extra inning loss to the Padres. He has the same home road, or I guess the opposite home road issue. On the road, he's been bad, even though he's coming off a great start. A 3-4, 5.17 ERA, 241 opponents batting average. At home, money in the, not as good as we remember. I guess I should pause there. 4-3, 3.32 ERA, 224 opponents batting average. Diamondbacks aren't hitting righties, 236, 698 OPS last 30 days. Phillies aren't hitting righties last 30 days, 229, 712 OPS. Both bullpens are struggling. Diamondbacks last 30 days, 5.40 ERA, 1.56 whip. Phillies bullpen 4.23 ERA, 1.45 whip. Let's set a table here for our man, the legend Loshak. You were the trivia question yesterday on our show for $50 prize. Prize. Yeah, and there are a couple spots broke my heart. The like OG Lowbagger wrote Lodals, but it came out Littles, the autocorrect. So he did not get the. I didn't even notice it at first. And then
sometimes you do everything right in life and still lose out. You know what I mean? Just a mistake here.
And Dav Fenn, who's another OG Lowbagger, he on his feed he was higher than the guy that we awarded the prize to. So it was a lot of heartbreak. So I shouldn't be laughing.
Yeah, that just goes to show you in life, do your best, do everything right, but understand inside of yourself that even if you do that, you still might lose. Life is still unfair, even if you do everything. You know what I'm saying? All right, here you go.
Phillies open up at -210. They're now -242. 32-cent move towards them. This total at 8.5 has moved 6 cents to the over. Take it away, Pete.
Well, so the taint pick is the first 5 under?
4.5. Yep.
Okay, I know he was doing great in the middle of the year. How's he been doing recently?
He's come back. He's come back, and he expects. And it was our Jeff Shahadi, our guy Jeff Shahadi. He says, "No worries, love you guys." Jeff Shahadi, he deserved to win it. He deserved to win it. And yes, he is rolling right now. He lost yesterday, but he's hitting at 54.9%, and I believe he'll be back at 60% in no time.
All right. Okay. Maybe I'll do something where if I have a good day at a certain level, I'll kick that guy. I'll make it up to him. I'll kick him the $50 that he deserved to win. What was the price? It was just $50, right?
$50.
Okay, I can handle that. It's a stretch, but I can handle that at this point in my life. Maybe I'll do something like that in this show or the next show. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. We got so much shit to talk about. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that Matty Ice is aware of the fact that Widener is ass, so he has probably factored that in, right? With his bet on the first 5 under. Widener also has had control issues and reduced velocity recently. He was a little bit sick. I wouldn't be surprised if later in his career he's someone that's undervalued or that we're betting on. But right now he makes me very, very nervous. Philly though seems just sluggish in general. My bet on Arizona yesterday was as much of a bet against Philly as a bet on Arizona. And you summed up Nola very well. He gets his strikeouts, but he gives up a lot of runs. I hope he cashes on that first 5 under, but I'm not exactly sure what he's seeing or what he's looking at. Both lineups are a little bit, nothing special, but that's a relatively low total, and both starting pitchers make me nervous. My note on this game is maybe think about betting Arizona live after Widener is gone. Right? That's what I'm thinking about. I have no bet on this one full game, and I don't think I'm going to give an official pick on it. I wind up having a bet ultimately by first pitch on, I would say, about 75% of the game. So that might happen here as well. My main note on this one is think about betting Arizona live after Widener is out, because he just doesn't, I like his quotes for how he's been dealing with his diminished velocity and his illness, but right now he does not inspire confidence in me.
And he doesn't, in me, the fact that he looked so good against this squad 2 starts ago, 10 days ago, also is I don't trust it. 2 for 15 they've gone against him with a Bryce Harper home run and a single from Gregorius. And these Diamondbacks have had Nola's number. They're 12 for 37, 324 with an 823 OPS. The cash flow here, 4,060 tickets in. We have 68% of the tickets, 67% of the cash on the Phillies, and a big 32-cent move towards them. But then we have 57% of the tickets and 95% of the cash on the under. So that does bode well.
Let's put it this way. If he likes the first 5 under, it means he thinks that Widener isn't going to get crushed. And if you don't think Widener is going to get crushed, then I think you have to think about Arizona full game at plus 220, right?
Yeah, I agree. This game makes me uncomfortable, and I'm not running well, so I'm not going to move on it. I will just sit back and cheer Taint on. There's Maxwell Smart, whom we've missed. Great to see you in the chat, my friend. All right, so we got to keep moving. Brisk pace.
Maxwell Smart, if you missed the opener, we're all on the over in the CFL game tonight.
Yes, we are all over the over. Jeff Joseph, no, but I'm heading up. I'm seeing my dad for the first time in like almost 2 years. As soon as I'm done the last 2 NFL futures videos, he's coming here, and we're going straight up the 427 to Woodbine Racetrack, and then I will start capping all of those. Okay, let's get to work. Next up for us is St. Louis Cards at Pittsburgh Pirates. And these are tricky spots with a pitcher like Dylan Peters. And, Angels designated the 28-year-old for assignment on in July, early July. The Pirates traded him for cash considerations. I'm sure they're just considerations, and no cash was actually involved. In 8 starts for AAA Salt Lake City, he was 2-2 with a 4.35 ERA, 1.45 WHIP, 48 Ks, and 41 1/3 with 13 walks. He comes over to the Pirates organization, AAA ball club in Indianapolis, and he's been excellent. 5 starts, but only 12 innings. So he's not seeing the lineup, probably a second time. And he's 1.50 ERA, 0.83 WHIP. So that's been working for him. I expect this to sort of be a bullpen day then. I expect Dylan Peters to not last very long in there and for him not to see the lineup a second time. Cardinals, Pirates, PNC Park, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 82 Fahrenheit, humid, partly cloudy, 4 miles per hour, sideways, slightly out to right. Do you believe, is this a Disney movie? Do we trust that Dylan Peters is going to resurrect his MLB career here at 28 years old? Or do you want to step on the throat of a guy who this is his last chance and he's going to fail miserably in front of his friends and family? I don't know. And initially, I thought the Cardinals got to be the play because of how good J.A. Happ has been in a Cardinals uniform. With the Cards, 2-0, 1.99 ERA, 1.02 WHIP, 22 2/3, 19 K, 6 walks, has allowed 4 home runs. And his last start at home was against these very Pirates. And he goes 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, both solo shots, 1 walk, 8 Ks. We'll break into more stats later, but this will be Happ's 3rd start in his last 4 versus the Pirates. And we see this come up in another spot on this card. And I saw that the market wasn't moving towards the Cards, and it was fishy and low, didn't know what to do, and wanted to talk it out with Pistol Pete Loshak. They opened up minus 150. They're now minus 148. This total was initially juiced to the over, now juiced to the under. Pete, take it away.
This is a very interesting game. I admit that I am surprised, and I don't remember if I've been betting against Happ since he's come to St. Louis, but I probably have in spots and probably lost with them. I don't think that Happ's success recently is necessarily for real. I mean, it's not fully for real. I think it's a little bit for real. And when he's going up in against relatively weak lineups in relatively easy situations, which this one counts as, I guess I wouldn't expect him to get crushed in future starts when he's in bad situations. I will immediately be betting on any first 5 team total over against him, even if it's 3.5. This one, though, listen, Pittsburgh, I told you about this, Jimmy the Bag, about what I do with Pittsburgh, right? And even yesterday, I didn't like Pittsburgh, in my gut. But I took them as a big underdog anyway. And, of course, that was looking terrible for a long time until they put up 8 in the 7th, and then they cashed. And the reason I was okay with that is because I wasn't taking them in even money. I was taking them at the huge underdog line they were. And here it's the same way. Peters, I actually have a note here to do more research into him to figure out what I expect from him longer term. I haven't done that research yet. And I could have done it at some point last night or this morning, but I didn't. But I'll do it later. And so my sense right now is long-term, I'm not high on Peters. Short-term in a spot like this, maybe, but I'm going to do a little bit more research into him this afternoon to see what I think. But, I'm probably going to be on Pittsburgh here for a bet, although I don't think I can give it as an official play. And I got to be leaning first 5 over at 4.5. Even though the lineups are chintzy, and Pittsburgh is a notorious pitcher-friendly park. Leans right now would be Pittsburgh as a home dog and the first 5 over at 4.5 minus 120.
All makes sense to me. It all makes sense to me. Dylan Peters has had 9 2/3 innings up with the Pirates. His last start was right up against J.A. Happ. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 3 Ks.
All right, you know what? I'll make it an official play. No one tail this, but I'll take the first 5 over at 4.5. I'll find the best line. Go ahead, Jim.
First 5 over. At
4.5. Find the best line.
Oh, first 5 over, 4.5.
Yeah.
With both, we saw this in that start yesterday. Again, in Cardinals, Pirates, both starting pitchers had been very good against the opposition, but they were seeing them so frequently. And I feel like with Pittsburgh games, I figured out a while ago, how treacherous it is to bet against them as a huge home underdog and how good it can be to bet on them. And I learned that lesson, and I've done very, very well with it. I feel like I still haven't learned my lesson about betting overs at Pittsburgh, and I continue to make mistakes here and there. But my numbers that I have, which maybe if I had some AI, there'd be more light shed on this. But my numbers like the over. First 5, and so I'll make an official play. Minus 115, 4.5, minus 115. Makes sense. Interestingly enough, this went up to 5 at 10 to 8 this morning. 5 minutes later, back to 4.5 where it stood. And it's at minus 114. So overall, from the beginning, there's actually been a 6-cent move towards this under. Let's go to the baseball data here. Against Hap, these guys are hitting 200 with a 672 OPS. Against Dylan Peters, 222, 744 OPS. Your breakdown makes sense to me. Let's just see where the cash lies. 3,568 tickets in, 73% of the tickets, 70% of the cash on the Cardinals, 43% of tickets, 87% of cash on the over. This is going to be was not part of my plan, and I'm going to put more of my family's future on the line and move with Peter Loshak on the first 5 over. And Pete, what was the juice you got, just for record?
But your future, the floor for your future, a few low baggers own bars, don't they?
They do.
They'll hire us as something, right? They'll hire you as a bartender. Maybe not me. They'll hire me as a bar back if we need it.
No, I'm a bar back too. I'm a bar back too, man.
Really?
We're both bar backs, man. No, not Jed.
I'm just saying. Your family's future may be on the line, but the lowest you can fall is, some bar that's owned by a low bagger. Am I wrong? No?
No, you know what? We're going to go to Rhode Island. Nasty Nate. We're going to work with Nasty Nate in Rhode Island.
Okay. All right, let's get back again.
And there's R2D2 Finland, whom I love dearly.
Yes.
We haven't seen. God, I love that guy.
At worst, he can hook us up with or he can hook me up with like a Finnish wife, and I can go there and get married, get citizenship. And, when you work at McDonald's in Finland, you make like $30 an hour. That's what I read online or whatever. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just totally wrong. But all right, let's get back to Gap and
What was the juice associated with your over 4.5?
Minus 114 at Pinnacle.
Okay, we move on. We move on to Tampa Bay Rays at Baltimore Orioles. Again, I kept saying how I just needed a plus line to back Aiken, and it was at minus 102, and then minus 105, and then minus 110. And I was like, but it was clearly the look in yesterday's game, and I left money on the table and angry. Rays, Orioles, 79-48 other Rays, 38-25. Orioles 40-86, 19-41 at home. And Jeffrey Blue Ball's pick of the day is the Rays team total over 5.5. And Sammy Comer, play of the day, Rays minus 1.5 at minus 140. And Turnsey says, I have a couple nice Canadian women I can set you up with. And he's just right across the border from Detroit, right? He's in Windsor, right across the Detroit River.
Oh hell yeah! We'll talk about that. Anyone who can hook me up with a Canadian wife gets free MLB plays for life from me from now on.
Davidla says we have to be slamming Rays here right now. PG 00187 on an undercover cop is on Rays team total over 6, and Marky P Bonish Rays minus 3.5. There's DJ Big Boss in the house joining us. I can't wait to have him on this show. All right, Rays, Orioles, Shane McClanahan. So here we go. Just like the J.A. Happ situation, this will be McClanahan's 3rd time facing the Orioles over his last 4 starts. McClanahan 8-4, 3.63 ERA, 1.28 WHIP, 94 and a third, 113 Ks, 31 walks, 11 home runs. He's been good this year, and he was good against the Orioles. Last out at home, 7-2 win, 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, no homers, 1 walk, and 8 Ks. Going up against Matt Harvey, the batted man, 6-13, 6.27 ERA, 1.54 WHIP. 89 Ks and 113 and a third, 34 walks with 18 home runs. In his last start, he went 5 1/3, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers, 1 walk, 5 Ks in a 5-4 loss at home versus the Braves. Rays versus righties, 258, 822 OPS last 30 days. Orioles versus lefties, 231, 715 OPS. The Rays bullpen, unbelievable, 2.65 ERA, 1.07 WHIP. Orioles bullpen, 6.91 ERA, 1.58 WHIP. Sean Thompson in the chat, who's a very, very strong capper. I love having him rolling with us, and keep an eye whenever he comments. He's not high on McClanahan. I kind of am, but I'm high on anyone the Rays believe in. So, Pete, let me set you a table and see what you have to say here. This first 5 is sitting at 5.5, and there's been a move towards the under from an opening is an over. There's been a move towards the under, but full game, let's hand it over to Pete right now and set it up for him. Pete, full game, we have the Rays opening up at minus 219 or now minus 218. 1 cent move over to the Orioles, and the total going from 10.5 to 10. Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just have a couple comments. First comment is that we probably shouldn't spend too much time on this because from what I'm seeing in the weather report, it's going to be rain and it's probably going to get canceled. My second comment, though, is that in sports betting and in life, but it is particularly in sports betting, there's some things that just seem obvious and you're just not seeing the whole picture, and then there's other things that just seem obvious and they just are obvious and just do it. And I talked about this in our last show. I think Jimmy the Bag. Tampa Bay's dominance, it's super obvious to just bet them game in and game out on the run line or whatever, and there's nothing behind the scenes that actually makes that a stupid thing to do. No brainer. Think about it. And this game, you're going to lose once in a while, but overall, you're going to come way up. I've been doing that most of the year with Tampa Bay, and this is another classic situation. No brainer play. Tampa Bay -1, and against Harvey, Tampa Bay first 5 team total over, and probably Tampa Bay full game team total over as well. Except that I think the game's going to get rained out. Maybe it'll get past the 5th. So at this line, I kind of wouldn't. I mean, Tampa Bay has a great bullpen. I wouldn't want to take at this line Tampa Bay on the first 5 line. So I'll make those official plays here. Tampa Bay -1 and the first 5 team total over, but I do think this game's going to get rained out.
All right. Let's move that here. So Tampa -1. And what did you get for -1?
I'll tell you in a second, but I just think this game's going to get rained out. But so we should probably move on. But I'll say, let me see. What do we got here? -218 and -143 for Tampa Bay -1. That's all pinnacle.
And the over?
First 5 team total over for Tampa Bay will be, let me see. What do we got here? I don't want to spend too much time on this. What do we got? Where are we? 3.5 plus 105. That's what I'll take. 3.5 plus 105.
3.5
plus 110. Plus 110. Seeing that at Harris. Plus 110.
Okay. Plus 110. 3.5 and plus 110. And then cash wise, for you guys to know, in this spot, 5,333 tickets in. 91% of the tickets, 83% of the cash on the raise, and then 31% of the tickets, 77% of cash on the under. Okay, let's keep rolling. Taylor MacArthur says, "Hey boys, it's cash day looking like a big day on Washington. Team total over 3.5. San Fran first 5 under, and Arizona over 3 on the team total. Over 3 on the team total." Okay, so, and Rodney Barton says, "Sunny skies in Baltimore right now." I have 86 Fahrenheit, humid, mostly cloudy, and then about an hour into the game, rain. 6 miles per hour. It's a straightaway center. Okay, so let's keep rolling right now. I'm not going to move on this spot, but is Matt Harvey an insta-fade for team totals for you?
Yes. And, when he had his run of good starts, props to him. And I definitely took some losses on those games. And that might happen again, although it's much more likely to happen against lesser character teams with less impressive lineups. Against Tampa Bay, yes, auto. They could have put up 4.5, and I would have bet that one. Smaller, but I would have bet it. Maybe not. 3.5 plus 110. Yes, definitely a bet.
And Marky P. Bonus says rain and by 7 p.m. just as the game kicks off. I understand Razor to play here. I'm going to take some more time and decide. We move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Boston Red Sox at Cleveland Indians. Red Sox 73-56, 32-30 on the road. Indians 63-62, 34-28 at home. We get to the Rusty Kuntz play of the day. He's on the Indians team total over 3.5 at -135 at Pinnacle. The Rusty Kuntz play of the day, and there he is, old Turnsy, resting comfortably and relaxed with a big. He's on vacation on Rusty Kuntz's nutsack. That's what it looks like. He's sitting back on vacation on Rusty Kuntz's nutsack and just enjoying life. And why wouldn't he? Field, Cleveland, Ohio, 82 Fahrenheit, humid, partly cloudy, 6 miles per hour in. 6 miles per hour. There we go. Sorry. Okay. Eduardo Rodriguez versus 24-year-old Logan Allen. Now, I moved on Boston first 5 -0.5 and full game over. Logan Allen was drafted in the 8th round by these Red Sox. And look, do you believe in fairy tales?
That's a tough question.
I don't. I just don't buy Logan Allen. Look at in AAA Columbus, he was atrocious. 2-3, 7.95 ERA, 1.85 WHIP, 48 2/3, 52 Ks, 29 walks, 9 homers. Now, this has messed with me before when a pitcher has just horrible numbers in AAA and comes in. Usually it's PCL league stuff, but I mean, this is in Columbus. Logan Allen on the year, 1-5, 9.13 ERA, 1.81 WHIP, 22 2/3, 15 Ks, 11 walks, and 9 home runs in 22 2/3. His last start was July 5th. It was a 9-8 loss at the Rays, and he looked bad. Eduardo Rodriguez last start was bad. 3 2/3, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks, and a 10-1 loss at home versus the Rangers. I'm nervous that I'm simplifying things too much here, but the Indians are smashing lefties right now. 275, 835 OPS. Red Sox are hitting lefties hard. 277, 770 OPS. That's both the last 30 days. Red Sox bullpen 5.35 ERA, 1.53 WHIP. Over the last 30 days, Indians bullpen is improving. They had a great start to the year, then were horrible. Now they're starting to pitch a little better again. 3.75 ERA, 1.31 WHIP. So I moved on the full game over 9.5 at -110. I moved on the first 5, Red Sox -0.5 at -130. And I fear that I'm just simplifying things too much, and we know what happens in baseball but the total's now up to 10. Okay, so the total's gone up to 10. That's good. And no money moving towards Rodriguez and the Red Sox. They're sitting at -179. Pete, take it away.
I think that unless he gets another pitch, Allen is definitely not good and is going to struggle in the majors. Rodriguez, I actually wanted to do some more research into him, which I didn't have time to do. He got hit his last start, and I wanted to check his velocity to see if his peripherals were if his deeper peripherals were maybe a bit off, because he does have that tendency to tire, to fatigue, and lose velocity. We saw that already earlier this year, and then it improved and his numbers improved. At this line, I haven't done my research into that, but at this line, I would definitely be very uncomfortable taking Boston. I do like the overs. I would be leaning first 5 over as well. The Cleveland team total over, that guy said. Cleveland team total over?
Yes,
I think that's. My numbers like that a little bit. And if you like that, then you also probably like the first 5 over as well. So I'll definitely have some bets on this game. I don't have any yet, but definitely leaning. Cleveland at this line. Cleveland team total over and the first 5 over as well.
Well, this was a smash and grab for me on the 9.5 at -110. I was shocked when I saw it. And not plush ounces, but that total moving to 10 makes this Cleveland team total over 3.5 look like low-hanging fruit. Marky P. Bonus says, how do you feel about Cleveland's bullpen versus Red Sox lineup? Because that's going to happen after 3 innings. I think that the Red Sox bullpen's been falling apart, and I said that 3 weeks ago. I said it was going to cost them a playoff spot 3 weeks ago, a month ago. And they're falling apart, and so I don't trust the Red Sox bullpen. So that's the main thing. I'm not entirely sure what to do with the Indians bullpen, but I don't trust the Red Sox bullpen.
Yeah, which is another reason why my numbers like Cleveland at this line a little bit. Similar to the Widener game in Arizona, I have a note. Maybe think about betting Cleveland live when Allen leaves.
Yeah, no, that's a very interesting way of handling it. Joe Yurkovich liking the spot that I'm on here. And we will move on. Noli knows. We got the Long Beach play of the day. Long Beach Reach play of the day. Giants Braves, first 5 under 4.5 from Noli knows. We're working on Noli knows. We got him on the show yesterday. We really want him involved with everything we're doing on Pub Sports for a myriad of reasons. But we had some internet issues, but he's working on them, and he's going to be back and on the show often. R2D2 Finland, Rays -2.5, Cards -1.5, Reds -1.5, and Braves under 8.5. So I'm just going to pop that in. Noli knows his Long Beach Reach. It's a good name for a play. I'm not write that down. So I don't forget it. Long Beach Reach. Okay, so we move on. That's a double dip for me. Let's move on.
We should make T-shirts that list all the plays of the day that low backers came up with.
I'd love that. And I also went over all of the comments. I sent you 9 pages of comments that day on January 5th, 2018, but I missed some.
I saved it, Jimmy the Bag. My neuroticism in that day was a good thing, and I actually saved a whole bunch of comments. I swear on my life, I don't think I told you about it, but right before we started doing the shows again, I was reading it. I was in stitches for 4 hours in a row, reading and rereading the comments that I totally forgot about that I saved I was like, where do these people come from? These are like freaking, Saturday Night Live writers here. I'm watching the Low Bag show 2 years ago or 3 years ago, whatever it was. I'll send that to you, Give me the bag. Whatever I have saved, I'll send to you.
I'd love that.
Twitter.
Twatty Latte joining us. He was,
oh my God,
he was so good. He's such a funny guy.
Cincinnati,
those of you in Vegas, by the way, Twatty Latte going to be there the entire month of September. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Cincinnati Reds 70-59, 34-30 on the road. Miami Marlins 53-75, 32-31 at home. Lone Depot Park, Miami, Florida. Roof closed, I expect, but it's not that hot, and it's hard to get that information. Wade Miley going up against Zach Thompson. Wade Miley having a great year. 10-4, 2.88 ERA, 1.23 WHIP, 137 and 2/3, 107 Ks, 45 walks, 10 home runs. But he just saw these Marlins, and he pitched good, decent. 4 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, 3 walks, 3 Ks, and a 7-4 win at home. Going up against Zach Thompson, who has been very good. Zach Thompson, who we didn't think it was even going to be a starter, and thought it was just going to be a bullpen guy. 2-5, 2.97 ERA, 1.09 WHIP. 57 and 2/3, 51 Ks, 21 walks, 5 home runs. Last start, he went 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 3 Ks. And that was the start. He went up against Wade Miley in that start. In 7-4 loss to the Reds. At home, he's 2-2 with a 2.27 ERA and a 2.05 opponent's batting average. On the road, 0-3, 3.81 ERA, but 1.98 opponent's batting average. Reds are just smashing righties right now. 275, 890 OPS last 30 days. Marlins versus lefties are improving now. They're starting to hit them. 254, 741 OPS. This Marlins bullpen was once a big advantage against the Reds. No longer. 5.11 ERA, 1.51 WHIP over the last 30. Reds bullpen 4.93 ERA, 1.46 WHIP over the last 30. Pete, this is the market. The total opened up at 8, and Pinnacle just moved it to 7.5. All the other books are at 8. Pinnacle just moved it to 7.5, and the Reds opened up minus 146. They're now minus 138. 8-cent move towards the Marlins. Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, Miley has had a legit career resurgence. He changed up his repertoire, and it's worked for him, and I think we can expect that to continue until further notice. The big question here is Thompson. If I expected a decent start from Thompson, I'd definitely be leaning Miami and the under in the first 5 under. The problem is he might be fatiguing a little bit. As you said, he's pitching above his expectations, which sometimes does happen for real, but also sometimes is illusory. And, a lot of times people come crashing down to earth or crashing back down towards their projections when they get a little bit, more fatigued and worn out. And that might be happening here with Zach Thompson. I have to do a little bit more advanced research into that as well. As of right now, he makes me nervous. So definitely, if I expect a decent start from Thompson, definitely leaning Miami as a dog and the under. Miami, again, a scrappy team. Brinson being hurt is not great, and I don't really want to bet against Miley. Miley is definitely on top of his shit right now, and going into a situation like this, I think he's going to have another solid start. So, I might be thinking about the Miami first 5-team total under, although that's probably 1.5. I haven't bet this game yet, and the big question is just Thompson. I think he might be fatiguing and wearing down a little bit, and if so, then Cincinnati on the first 5 is probably going to be a bet that I'll have. And
C.T. Bays, who's such a from our days, but he's such a strong capper, says Thompson will be done after 5. Reds will smash the pen. Marlins used 6 relievers yesterday.
Yeah, it's just not a great spot for, and just Cincinnati. Miley is legit. Yeah.
And Kenny Can, that was my fault, man. I was really focusing on the first 5 in the Royals game, and I kind of pushed you in that direction, and that was my fault. Okay, so this is a tricky spot for me. We're going to go to baseball data here against Zach Thompson. He's had their number, 188, 673 OPS, but the sample size is small, just 16 at-bats, 3 for 16. And Wade Miley, small sample size as well, but 261, 729 OPS. Let's move over to the cash flow in this spot. 4,161 tickets in. 64. Oh, look at this. 64% of the tickets on the Reds, 38% of the cash on the Reds.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. For me, it all just comes down to Thompson. If I expect Thompson to have a decent start, which maybe I will when I do a little bit more in-depth research, I'd definitely be liking Miami and the under at this line.
And 38% of tickets on the under, 76% of cash, and we're seeing it already go down to 7.5. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to move on and pass this. And these pitchers, faced each other 5 days ago. Next up, 7:10 p.m. Eastern, and I want the Tigers here. And I am guessing that I will get and I'm starting to get a better line. The market's moving towards the Blue Jays. Not everywhere, though. Not everywhere. But I still think that the public's going to be on the Blue Jays here. But obviously I wasn't that confident, or I probably would have made it anyways. Let's talk about this spot. Jays now just 6 games over 500 and 500 on the road. Tigers 61 and 67, 33 and 30 at home. Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. 82 Fahrenheit, humid, partly cloudy, 8 miles per hour in. I was also interested in the over and the wind coming in, and I was like, let's just wait and talk it out. Steven Matz, I do not trust him. He's coming off a nice start against these Tigers at home. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, and just 1 K. 5-3 extra inning loss. 3.94 ERAs, 10-7, 1.36 WHIP, 112 innings, 109 Ks. He's had a good season. Matt Manning, 3-5, 5.91 ERA, 1.56 WHIP, just 29 Ks and 53 in the third, 17 walks and 7 home runs. We know that he's expected to be a big part of this rotation in the years moving forward. At home, has an ERA almost 5 runs better than on the road, and we see that with young pitchers. And we have another example of that later on in this card. At home, he's 2-1 with a 3.28 ERA, still a 280 opponent's batting average. On the road, he's 1-4, 8.16 ERA, 319 opponent's batting average. Blue Jays are not hitting righties that hard. They're dealing with injuries. 254, 752 OPS. Tigers smash lefties, 295, 831 OPS, and just saw this guy 5 days ago, who I don't think has very electric stuff. Tigers bullpen, 3.59 ERA, 1.46 WHIP over the last 30 days. Jays bullpen 3.95 ERA, 1.27 WHIP over the last 30 days. Here we go. Tigers, Jays. The Jays open up at minus 142. They're now minus 163. This total sitting at 9.5 has now made a 6-cent move to the over. Pete, Jays, Tigers, take it away.
Yeah. Great analysis, Jimmy the Bag. Very impressive. I hope people appreciate how in-depth your research is. I agree with all of it. Manning, long-term, is probably going to get better, but right now he's definitely struggling. His control issues are a big problem. I kind of agree with you with Matt that it's not a great spot for him, but I would be leaning under anyway, and leaning Detroit, as you said. This is a classic example of a side that I will probably wind up being on, but it's very difficult for me to actually make as an official public play. Because Manning could easily come in and be off, and Toronto's up 8-0, 8-zip after 4 innings. And then, people who are watching the show are like, dude, this guy Loshak doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I don't care how many people go, legend. What the fuck was that? Manning sucks, and he told us to bet it. And I understand that. I'd definitely be leaning Detroit. Numbers like Detroit, the under, and the Toronto team total under as well. But Manning is off of long rest. A guy like him, they're not going to just sit there, and ignore him for a week and then throw him out again. He probably worked on some things, thought about some things. Toronto in general is a team that is a little bit lethargic right now. I like fading those teams at this time of the year. A team that is legitimately great, but has, it's in the dog days of summer, and they're kind of wearing down a little bit. Usually a big favorite. Classic example here. So, yeah, I agree with you, Jimmy the Bag.
Unfortunately, Matty Ice does not, and
What
says it was BAA against and WHIP are not good at home. His ERA is skewed. I hear that, but I've watched him at home, and he gets big outs. He gets the outs when he needs to get them. So I can understand that he's still getting hit, but when he's needed to make a big pitch at home, he's made it, and on the road he hasn't. Matty I says this is Toronto over spot for me, but I am off. Michael Irvelina says Jays are nothing on this game. You hit the Tigers bullpen, and the Jays will explode runs. I still kind of like the Tigers bullpen. We talked about implied.
The Jays have bullpen issues too, though.
Definitely. Absolutely they do.
And in fact, Toronto in general has been a pretty good first 5 team and then tended to blow games late, which I'm not saying that's going to happen here, but as a big favorite, that's another note I had here. Again, another note I was thinking about maybe live bet Detroit after Manning's out,
CT Bay says Jay's offense going to smash tonight. Rich G says Tigers plus 1.5 is minus 105. I'll take that bet any time. Well, maybe I'll just need more time to think about this spot. And thank you for the kind words, Pete. It just means so much to me.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing I ever wanted to do was to sit beside you. Remember, that was the deal I made with SBR. If they wanted me to host that conference, I'll host your conference for free, but I have to sit beside Pete every morning on the show.
Yeah, and then when you invited me to do this show, I was like, well, the only thing I really want to do is just like make a couple of jokes and make Jimmy laugh. All right, if I got to do 2 hours of handicapping in order to have the opportunity to make a couple of jokes for a couple of seconds to Jimmy, I'll do it. And I get so excited when I play. Like the first joke, I was like, let's do a preview because I wanted to show you my look and go, this is a dope look, Jimmy the Bag. I knew you'd laugh at that. I knew it would make you laugh. And it did.
3,455 tickets bet on this game. 59% of the tickets, 69% of the cash on the Jays. 60% of the tickets, 94% of the cash on the under. And Pete leaning towards the under. And we're all talking about the over. Ooh-wee. Okay, let's move on to...
Yeah, Max is questionable, but, this isn't a terribly formidable lineup for Detroit, and it's kind of a high total, You're
right. Okay, and we are going to move on. Now, our very serious producer, Jose Bouquet, had 2 giant wins yesterday, and he was taking a long time deciding which game to bet, and I applaud his seriousness. And he's very close to the black if he wants to shave that stash and keep his job, so he's going to be coming on later with Yankees A's. So here's a spot, Pete, where I wanted to bet the over 9 in Nationals Mets, and it moved 8.5 on me. I do not trust Paolo Espino. He's a 35-year-old journeyman. You think people think of him, if they haven't read his name and it's a Central American or South American name, they think, this guy's got to be a 23-year-old stud. Nah, he's an old journeyman that anybody could have had for a cup of coffee, and I don't trust him. And
wait, when they see his name, they think he's good?
No, I do. When I see a name I haven't seen,
right,
I think, this guy must be a 23-year-old fireballer. But no, he's a journeyman 35-year-old.
That's reverse racism, Jimmy the Bag.
3-4, 4.28 ERA, 1.20 WHIP, 75 2/3, 58 Ks, 15 walks, 14 home runs. His last start at the Brewers, and I know they're hitting hard, was just 4 1/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 home run, 1 walk, 6 Ks, and a 9-6 loss at the Brewers. At home, he's been pretty solid. 3-4, 3.83 ERA, 255 opponent's batting average. On the road, he struggled a little bit. Hasn't registered a win, but not a loss either. 5.13 ERA, 264 opponent's batting average. And then Rich Hill. Rich Hill has not looked good. As a New York Met, he's got a 5.06 ERA, 1.35 WHIP, 5 home runs and 26 2/3. On the year, he had pretty good numbers in Tampa, and they still didn't want him. The Nats smashed lefties, 284, 853 OPS. The Mets aren't hitting at all. They're not hitting at all, but I thought maybe Paolo Espino could wake them up. Nats bullpen terrible. Mets bullpen quite good, 3.33 ERA, 1.14 WHIP. And Joe Yurkovich, Detroit 640 OPS versus lefties last 15 days, so that's very important. Okay, so let's make a move here and see let's open it up for Pete. So I'm thankful that I didn't move on the total, although Pinnacle's moved it back to 9. Pinnacle moved it back to 9 11 minutes ago from 8.5. Interesting. Maybe I should have trusted myself more. Mets open up at -195. They're now -192. 3-cent move to the Nationals, and this total's gone, as I said, from 9 to 8.5 at most books, but back to 9 at UWager, Bet Online, and Pinnacle.
Yeah. Are you kicking it to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this is another classic example of a game that, I'll probably be on, game that I like, but it's just so hard for me to give publicly. The Mets are struggling right now. They're gonna be pissed off and turn it around again at some point, and they might do it here tonight. But at -200, my numbers just really like Washington here. And, Espino is vulnerable in general, but so is Hill. And, again, my numbers indicate that the Mets should be a favorite, but far less of a favorite than they are here. And, my numbers like Washington on the full game money line, Washington on the first 5 and full game team total overs. Hill probably goes 4 or 5, gives up 2 or 3 runs again. And that's what I like here. It's hard for me to go public because Washington usually come in, the Mets have a fire lit under them, and, Espino gets crushed. Hill, a crafty veteran, is pretty good. The Mets win 8-1. People, newbies watching the show, are like, dude, this guy looks homeless and caps like a homeless guy. Legend. He's a legendary bad capper and a legendary awful-looking human being, but overall, long-term, those bets of mine tend to be good. And then when they win, I think, why didn't I give it in the show? My numbers like Washington is a big dog, and the Washington full game and first 5 team total overs.
And what about a full game over in that capacity? Anything interest you there?
No, I mean, Espino is my numbers have been loving Mets full game unders from the beginning of the season, and they don't like that either here. They just like the team total overs because they're so low because Washington's such a huge dog.
You know, I'm starting to think if I can get the 8.5, I might take it. Some interesting comments here from the chat. CT Bay says Mets finally done with that 13-game Giants Dodgers stretch. 7 of 11 losses by 1 run. 7 of 11. And
yeah, I mean, the Mets are not nearly that bad, but my numbers indicate they're not nearly this good to be a minus 200 favorite against the Nats, who have Soto and a few other guys. With Hill starting it, it's just too high of a line according to my numbers.
And Nutflashan says Giants pitch well against the Mets. Do not let that screw your view on their bats for tonight. I see them putting up some runs tonight.
I think the Mets are going to have a bunch of games in the next week or two where they're going to have clear betting value on. But
question here, a little aside here. If you only could look at one stat, or maybe I should add both of them, but we'll hear. If you could only look at one stat, that either being what a team is hitting, let's say versus lefties, over the last 30 days or over the last 15 days, what would you want to have?
So you're asking me if I'm doing statistical analysis, would I rather have a bigger sample size or a smaller sample size? I'm gonna go with smaller sample size. I'm a little bit of a contrarian. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I would check. Whether there was a big bat that was out. That happens all the time. Like when the Phillies had McCutchen go down. Sometimes his production from before would skew it. So I would like the 30 day, obviously. But if there's a discrepancy, I would. Although you should be aware of big bats that are out or coming back. I would choose the 30-day, although also keeping in mind injuries, who's out, who's been out, and who's been recently in.
I love it. Okay, thank you for that. Fat Win says going to ride with the bus driver from The Simpsons and bet Texas run line plus 1.5 at plus 107. Fat Win in the house. Okay, we move on to San Francisco Giants at Atlanta Braves.
Well, wait a minute. Sorry. I think I want to make an official play on that one.
Oh, do it.
I think I will throw on to start just the let me see. What's the Nats full game team total over? It's 3.5 minus 105. Okay, I'll throw that one on there. I'll throw on Nats full game team total over 3.5. Where is it? Yeah, sorry. I'm just 3.5 minus 105, and probably I'm going to be on the Nats as a big dog as well.
And that was I think that's a very interesting look. It makes sense to me. Okay, let's roll. We got Mike M with the pimp slap play of the day. San Francisco Giants first 5 and plus a half.
Really?
I wonder what line. What line is that? I'd be curious because
Giants first 5.
First 5, anybody's going plus a half. Wow. And Noli knows on the Long Beach Reach play of the day is Giants Braves first 5 under 4.5. And then we have Twadi on the Giants first 5 minus a half at plus 130, and the Yankees minus 125. So let's break this down. So a lot of love for the Giants coming in here. Giants 83 and 44, unbelievable. I can't. Every time I say that, I'm like, really? I mean, I've seen it, I know it, but who would have thunk they'd be this incredible? 41 and 25 on the road. Braves 68 and 58, 31 and 31 at home. We're at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. 85 Fahrenheit, humid, partly cloudy, 7 miles per hour. In Gaussman coming in on the bump for the Giants. And what an interesting season he's had statistically. We'll go into it a little bit here in a second, but overall in the year, 12 and 5, 2.47 ERA, 1.01 WHIP. 146 innings, 174 Ks, 46 walks, and 12 home runs. His last start was not good. 3 2/3, 6 hits, 5 runs. Just 2 were earned. No homers, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and a 6-5 win at Oakland. At home, he's being good, really good. 6 and 3, 3.38 ERA, 186 points batting average. On the road, he's 6 and 2 with a 1.70 ERA. Opponents batting 193 against him. In July, he fell off. Went 1 and 3 with a 5.11 ERA. 258 points batting average, and I wondered if he was then vulnerable because he had such a spectacular start to the year. He's righted the ship in August, but not too much, 3-0, 3.20 ERA. It's still the 253 opponent's batting average, which is much higher than he's had this year. Then we get to Max Fried, 11 and 7, 3.49 ERA, 1.22 WHIP. His last start, he went complete at Baltimore, 9 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 4 Ks. And at home, he's been quite a bit better than he has been on the road, even with that 9-inning complete. Road 5-4, 3.98 ERA, 269 opponents batting average compared to at home 6-3, 2.97 ERA, 224 opponents batting average. Giants are smashing lefties last 30 days, 262, 771 OPS, but not as much as the Braves are smashing righties. 264, 805 OPS. Giants bullpen being so good. The Braves bullpen Anthopoulos put it together as we expected. Not quite as good. I mean, Giants bullpen last 30 days, 2.39 ERA, 0.95 WHIP compared to the Braves at 3.32 ERA, 1.20 WHIP. Here we go, Pete. This is a very interesting game. The Braves open up at minus 114. They're now minus 121. 7-cent move towards them, and this total's gone from 8 to 8.5. Take it away.
All these people that I respect tremendously coming in on San Francisco first 5, twate latte, like San Francisco minus a half. Really? Did he say that?
He did.
I don't usually question your reading of posts and comments, Jimmy the Bag, but those are such surprising opinions to me that I had to double check, because I'm thinking that it's a great spot for Atlanta. Full game and first 5. I wonder what Nutflush Allen has to say here, but the Giants are a little bit banged up. Gausman's a little bit shaky. Fried has been lights out coming off a shutout, I know, but I think that until further notice, I see no reason to expect anything different from him. And most importantly, it's a very, very modest line. So I don't know. I was loving Atlanta here, full game and first 5. All these people laughing like something funny, though, because they all love the Giants. Really? Can we solicit some comments from the people who love the Giants as to why? First 5?
Yeah, let's hear. Nutflush Allen, our resident Giants expert, says, guys, please wait for confirmation on the lineup. Slater is not good in the leadoff spot. They're going to try to hide Wade Jr. in the bottom of the lineup because of his struggles versus lefties. I mean, the Giants are a little bit banged up. Posey, Crawford banged up a little bit. Brandon Belt. It's just not. I just don't see. I mean, it actually, when I saw this, I thought this was a situation where maybe there was something that I wasn't getting because the line was so much lower than I expected it to be. So maybe there is something I'm not seeing, and Twate Latte and all these other dudes are seeing that, but I don't know. C. Dalla says Braves been resting, day off. Atlanta first 5. Mark Schillingberg says, I'm with you, Pete. Going to take it. Fried is dealing. Morgan Spooner says Fried off the shutout fade spot. Sean Thompson on Giants money line. Banana Grape says maybe Giants fans have faith in Gausman. Joe Yurkowitz said Giants just played struggling A's and Mets. Now they play Braves off of rest. CT Bay says Giants might not have Posey or Casali. Be careful. There's Lamont Williams joining us. Lamont Williams in the house.
And Lamont Williams.
Professor Chris says, my model just has Giants favored values in the Giants for me, but may not fire at it. But Yenny Toon is with you on the Braves. No move for me. I find this a very, very tricky game at this point. Are you making a move, Peter? Do we move on?
I'll go directly against Twate Latte and who else? CT Bays, and those are the only 2 guys who like San Francisco here. But then someone else also likes the under on first 5, which means that he's a believer in Gausman as well. I'm gonna first 5 Atlanta minus 116. I'm seeing that at Pinnacle. Yeah, that's just too low for me. I'll take it. Atlanta first 5 money line minus 116.
Pete is on the Braves first 5 money line minus 116. Jimmy Gomez also on the Giants first 5 minus half.
And I think I will. I think I'll double it up. Why not? I'll take Atlanta full game minus 121 as well. Double it up.
Ooh, wow, exciting. And Crystal Warren, by the way, Pete, I don't know if you've been around. She's been rolling with us for the last few months. She's so much fun in the chat. Great capper and huge asset to our family here. Okay, let's move on.
What does she think about this game? That's what we need to know, Jimmy the Bag.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, she did say that, Braves off a rest day, so clearly, well, we'll see. We'll see what she has to say here in a second.
Yeah, by the way, I'm not looking at the comments because I think it might take up too much bandwidth on my feed, so I'm not looking at the comments anyway. But yeah, all right, I'm double look. If Fried gets crushed, fine.
Next up, Astros Rangers, roof closed. 8:05 p.m. Eastern, 75 and 52 are the Astros. But I didn't do my final things here with I should do the batter versus pitcher in this spot. Against Gausman, 212, 785 OPS. Max Fried shuts this lineup down. They're 6 for 26 with 6 singles. And then cash flow in this Giants-Braves game, we have, this will be an interesting tell, just 3,000 tickets in, 2,925. 54% of the tickets on the Giants, just 38% of the cash. And then 43% of tickets on the under, 81% of the cash on the under. There's Boston Nick in the house. Thank you for joining us. And we move on. Astros, Rangers, and Real Deal Prime says Otto, man. Yes, Glenn Otto, 25-year-old Glenn Otto making his MLB debut for the Texas Rangers, 5th-round pick by the Yankees out of Rice in 2015. And Rangers have COVID going through the team. So Dunning, Fultonavich, and looks like Spencer Howard are all going to be on that list. So Otto comes in. He's one of 4 prospects that they picked up in the Joey Gallo trade. Since joining this new organization, he's 2.70 ERA, a 1 whip, 19 Ks, 7 walks, across 20 innings, 4 starts at Round Rock. He was promoted to AAA in the Yankee system July 13th. So in AA Northeast League this year, 103 strikeouts and 65 and a third. 3.17 ERA, held opponents to a 197 batting average and 7.36 Ks per 9. And fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, but he sticks with the fastball curveball combo. His fastball gets up to 96 miles an hour, and he says right to the camera that I can throw my curveball at any time I want. I have so much confidence in it. And I was like,
oh shit!
I was like, I believe you. Yeah. I believe you. I believe you. So here we go. He's going up against Jake Odorizzi, 6-6, 4.52 ERA, 1.26 whip, 79 and 2/3, 70 Ks, 29 walks, 15 home runs. His last start was pretty good. 5 2/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, 8 Ks. It was a 15-1 win at home versus the Mariners. At home, he's been pretty good this year. 2-3, 3.62 ERA, 239 opponent's batting average. He gets barreled up more on the road, 4-3, 5.31 ERA, 234 opponent's batting average. The Rangers' numbers versus righties and lefties were abysmal. They're starting to come up a bit. Last 30 days, 222 with a 651 OPS. And Joe Yergin says Otto had 43 straight homerless innings. Wow, 43 straight homerless innings. And the Rangers, both bullpens are pitching very well. Both bullpens are pitching very well. Okay, Uncle Oliver asking what's the Astros -2.5 spread. I will get that for you. While I'm getting it, let's hear Pete's breakdown. The table is set. Astros open up at -199.
Yeah. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Hello. Oh shit. Oh shit. Hello.
Take
Hello.
away.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
You're good.
Oh,
You're good. You're in business.
Okay. All right. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to give you and the commenters props on friggin' hitting all the important points. Great breakdowns. Oh, I'm cutting out again?
No, you're
okay,
good. You're money.
Yeah. Okay. So, you never know what's going to happen with a guy in his first start, but there's some positive signs with Otto. Odorizzi, not too bad, not too great. Sometimes he disappoints when you bet, on him because he's been pitching well for a while. Sometimes he disappoints because he looks like he's very vulnerable, and then he has a decent 5-inning start, which happened last time. A little bit of an easy situation. I'll make an official play, full game under 9 plus 105. The Astros. I assume we all know this. Our low baggers from Texas will definitely know this. The Astros just don't win when they go on the road against Texas. So it's very difficult to take them here as a huge favorite like this, even though Texas is ravaged with some injuries and just pretty chintzy in general. Houston can get easily overvalued. My numbers do like Texas here. I'll probably wind up betting it, but I definitely can't make that one an official play. But I like the under full game 9 plus 105. That's current line at Pinnacle, and maybe a shot with the Houston full game team total under as well.
Is that plus 105 or minus 105?
Plus 105 at Pinnacle right now. Jimmy the bag.
Very interesting look, and it does make sense. Wow. Wild.
Houston has a formidable lineup, so they could get hit. I mean, they can put up, an 8 spot in any inning against anyone at any time, of course. And then, again, people be like, the dude looks homeless. Now he caps like he's homeless. Maybe I'll just watch the low bag show whenever Loshak is not on. I'm taking the under 9 plus 105, and I'm also heavily leaning towards the Houston team total under 5.5.
Well, oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, team total under 5.5 is a very interesting look. I'm going to put a question beside it. Houston under 5.5. This just in, OG Lowbagger celebrating his birthday today. We have Lamont Williams, whom we love dearly, celebrating his birthday today. So we hopefully will be seeing a birthday pic here
You know, the first two picks for a long time, birthday picks were killing. Then when I was just doing shows on my own at my YouTube channel, they continued to kill it. And thankfully, I gave Nutflush Allen a huge bunch of birthday winners for an MMA winner on his birthday and everything. The reason I'm saying all this stuff now is because I'm prepping it for the birthday picks have lost three out of four. Last three out of four.
Yeah, 3 out of 4.
But
it's a very small sample size, and we believe in you.
We believe in you, Williams. Yes, I will give you a birthday pick, but we may have to retire at some point. But I will give you a birthday pick, Lamont Williams, and huge shout out to you. And hope you have a great year anyway.
I'm excited, and I love Lamont Williams. What a great guy. Okay, we move on. 8-10.
Wait. Sorry. I'm gonna have a little bit of balls here. I'm gonna take the Houston full game team total under 5.5 minus 115 official play.
I like that a lot. I think that's because the bullpen's been so good lately, and I'm always afraid to go over 5.5. So why not move under 5.5? I really think this is a good.
No matter who you are, no matter how experienced you are, the jitters can come first major league start, and I wouldn't be surprised if this guy comes in, has 2 shutout innings, and then gets crushed for 6 runs in the 3rd inning, and then I'm screwed. But I'll make it a play. I'm going to be betting it, so whatever.
There you have it. 2 looks for Pete. The full game under 9 and plus 105, and Houston team total under 5.5 minus 115. And I have tremendous interest in that under 5.5. Okay, we move on. 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Cubs, Chicago White Sox. Cubs 56 and 73, 23 and 41 on the road. White Sox 74 and 55, 42 and 23 at home. And after studying this game, so I went full circle on this game. So at first, I'm like, last time, I'm like, God, I bet you the White Sox they're so much better than the Cubs. And then as I started capping this game, I agree completely with CT Bay saying Cubs first 5, the dog of the day. Completely. Dallas Keuchel is not to be trusted. Last start, 5 innings, 9 hits, 6 earned runs, no homers, but getting barreled up, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and 8-4 losses at the Rays. At home, he's been better than he's been on the road, but that's not saying that much. 5-2, 4.07 ERA, 2.43 opponent's batting average. So no, he's been quite a bit better. On the road, 3-5, 5.64 or 5.46 ERA, 2.83 opponent's batting average. But this game means a lot to the Cubs because they're not going to be playing in front of packed stadiums where people care often. And they will be tonight at Guaranteed Rate Field, Chicago, Illinois, 86 Fahrenheit, humid, 8 miles per hour, sideways in. And Keegan Thompson has been good. He's coming off a 4-2 loss at home versus the Royals, where he only made it through 4 innings, 5 hits and 2 earned runs. But on the year, he's been good, 3-3, 2.42 ERA, 1.32 WHIP, 44 2/3, 44 Ks, 24 walks, 7 home runs. And you could say this is the biggest start of his season, of his career even. Maybe I'm building it up too much, but the Cubs care about this game, and the White Sox fly in off of a 10-7 win last night in Toronto. And do they care about this spot? Will they be hungry early? The Cubs are hitting lefties 238, 759 in their last 30 days. They're hitting lefties with a higher OPS than the White Sox are hitting righties over the last 30 days. And I want to stay away from the Cubs bullpen. So I love the idea. And I said to CT Bays, I said, I think we should wait. I think that money will come in on the White Sox. Now, that hasn't happened. There's been a 7-cent move. There's been a 7-cent move towards 7-cent move towards the Cubs. Oh, it just yeah. But money's, actually, to tell you what, so there has been a 15-cent move towards the White Sox in the last 35 minutes. So I just think the public's going to come in on the White Sox, and I'll be able to scoop up the Cubs at a big price. But it was first 5 plus 170. I'll check what it is now. And this total here opened up at 9.5, and it's now at 9 at most books. Pete, take it away. Cubs, White Sox.
Yeah, I mean, once again, you pretty much broke down everything perfectly, and I would agree with it mostly. The Cubs are the only thing I would say, you said Keuchel is not very reliable. Who else hasn't been reliable for the past 30 years is the Chicago Cubs, Jimmy the Bag. You know what I'm saying? And I don't trust them in for the rest of this year either, and definitely not for the rest of this series. But you're right, at this line, in this spot, in this situation, I haven't bet the White Sox yet, and I probably won't. And Keegan Thompson doesn't seem like he has much, but you might have a great read there on the Cubs' first 5 as a huge underdog. Yeah, I agree with you. I was thinking maybe about a shot with the under, actually. My numbers like the under a little bit, but I definitely didn't bet that one yet. Haven't bet the White Sox, and agree with you that at this line can't really do it. And you might be right with it's just Keegan Thompson. Keegan Thompson, my numbers, I don't see anything to like him, but any reason to like him. But yeah, that might be a good play. Now you got me thinking about that, Jim.
Gosh, I was so wrong about waiting. Maybe now I have to wait till right before first pitch because it's moved 20 cents. I could have got the first 5 at plus 170. It's now plus 150.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Very.
I don't think that was a huge mistake. When you see a line like I've said before, the main consideration, pretty much 98% of the consideration for betting, a line early, is whether you think it's going to move. And I guess that's got to be sharp money, Jimmy the Bag, coming in on the Cubs as that big of an underdog. Yeah.
Okay, well, but now I have to wait until first pitch pretty much. So we'll see what goes on there. We move on to a game that is very unlikely to go. Brewers, Twins, Target Field, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 76 Fahrenheit, heavy rain to like 9:30 or 10. I wonder if RotoWire thinks there's a chance that this goes. I should probably look that up so we don't waste too much time on it. But it's Eric Lauer versus 35-year-old Andrew Albers getting a chance to roll here. Pete, did you think this game was going to go or not?
No. I mean, if it were going to go, I would take the under, but I don't think this game's going to go. I didn't even look at it that deep.
All right, I just want to see if that's what RotoWire thinks here very quickly, and then we will move on.
Heavy rain in the forecast.
Yeah, that's what I have too. Okay, so let's just leave it alone. Although Eric Lauer has been much better on the road this year than he has been at home, something to keep in mind. Jansen says consider Proline plus 175 on the Cubs right now. I don't want Cubs full game. So is that first 5? Because I'd be shocked if Proline was giving out nice things. I can't trust the Cubs bullpen. I just want them first 5. I want to cut it down to as much as possible.
Go ahead.
Trinity says rain out. So let's just move on from that spot.
All right, can I make the birthday pick now?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, I'll just do it. Lamont Williams and anyone who's tailing this shit, you know what I mean? Historically, these plays have been great, but last 4, they have lost 3 out of 4. Cannot deny that. Atlanta Braves, full game, money line, minus 121. Atlanta Braves, full game, money line, minus 121. Birthday pick for Lamont Williams. Happy birthday to you, Lamont Williams. Regardless of how this pick does, I wish you a hugely successful and healthful and happy and wonderful year this coming up year for you, Lamont Williams.
Birthday pick, full game Braves, full game Braves. Exciting. Okay, let's move on. And we're doing okay for time. I believe we have 4 late games. 1, 2, 3, 4 late games. Okay, beautiful. Let's get to work here. We started 9:38 p.m. Eastern. San Diego Padres, 68-61, 27-32 on the road at the Angels, 63-66, 33-30 at home at Angel Stadium. In Anaheim, California, 83 Fahrenheit, clear, 7 miles per hour to straightaway center. We did not know who was pitching for the Angels, and we still don't. I don't know if anyone out there knows, but Joe Musgrove on the bump. I guess that makes not a lot to talk about, although Musgrove has been much worse on the road than he has been at home. On the road, 3-4, 3.86 ERA, 2.16 opponent's batting average. At home, he's got a 2.36 ERA, 1.96 opponent's batting average. So I wonder if that makes Musgrove vulnerable. Any thoughts on Musgrove, or should we just move on with no?
Yeah, I didn't really look at this game yet at all, so.
And by the way, Von Polo will also be in Vegas Wednesday morning. Man, I wish I could be down there with you guys. And one more big shout out to our man, Lamont Williams. Okay, so we move on to 9:40 p.m. Eastern. Yankees A's, and now the stakes raise. The stakes are higher because our man Jose, in his big opportunity to shave his mustache and keep his job if he's in the black, went 2-0 yesterday. He hit with – sorry, that's my MLB record. My apologies. He hit with the Sale over 6.5 Ks. It was his most juiced bet of the year, but he was very confident in it, minus 162. And he hit with the Dodgers first 5 minus a half at plus 116. That makes him 31-33, down 2.67 units, ROI minus 4.17%, and average line plus 100. And a lot of people paying attention to his picks right now in the hopes that he stays producer of this show. And by the way, the spreadsheet play of the day is in. The spreadsheet play of the day is in, coming off another winner yesterday. Is the spreadsheet play of the day, and it is the New York Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
The spreadsheet play of the day is the New York Yankees. So before we bring in our man Jose, let's give a big shout out to Ron Crawford. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet play of the day, New York Yankees. Now, I moved on the Yankees already. I got them -1 full game and first 5 -0.5. And let me just mention it before we bring on Jose. We got a heads up from Sharpie that something had changed with Garrett Cole. And they'd taken Garrett Cole out. They I don't know where they took him. But the last 2 starts, his revolutions per minute have been up 600, and he is back to pre-All-Star break Garrett Cole. That's what Sharpie said. Sharpie said, bet Garrett Cole on his starts because his revolutions have gone up enormously, and you're getting the old Garrett Cole again, and the market doesn't realize that, and certainly doesn't realize it here when it was a -150. So I'm trusting Garrett Cole in his last 2 starts, and his revolutions per minute up. So I moved full game and first 5 on the Yankees. I got first 5 -0.5, -115, very cheap. I got Yankees -1 at -119, very cheap. Let's bring in our man Jose with the say hey play of the day, and the stakes are high. He's got 2 shows left to get in the black. 2 shows left. Please welcome to the show our producer, Jose Bouquet. Jose, how are you?
I'm doing well. Can't complain. Another COVID test today, so that's great. Shout out to them.
By the way, Pete, our man Jose does have COVID right now, so he's fighting a good fight.
Great. Excellent.
Yes. It adds a layer to the adversity, Pete. It's also very nice to see you. I haven't seen you in weeks.
Yes. Great to see. Wow, dude, your fucking hair is looking great, man. I don't know whether that's COVID induced or whatever, but your hair fucking looks awesome, man. You should fucking get a professionally done pompadour.
Pompadour?
Come on, man. You look great, dude.
Well, as soon as I can get back into a salon chair, I will be sure to getting the pompadour look. Just for you.
All right. Very, very nice. You know, I'm very careful about the compliments I hand out. So yes, if I'm saying that, it means something.
It does.
I'm happy for you, Jose.
Jose, the stakes are high here. You're attacking this Yankees A's game. You are now 2.67 units away from the black. How do you plan on getting there in this Garrett Cole, Sean Manaea start?
So I haven't been looking at the spin rates recently. So shout out to Sharpie for bringing that to my attention. Makes me feel better about my bet. Makes me feel better that Garrett Cole's back to cheating, that fucking cheating fuck. But I'm going with the Yankees today, and moreover, I'm taking 2 bets today again, Jim, because the double-up spots have been working for me. These are correlated. I'm taking the Yankees team total over 2.5 for the first 5 innings, gentlemen. That is at plus 124. Plus 124. Pretty high number there. I was pretty shocked to see how high it was. Now, when I saw that number, I was like, wow, I guess they expect this game to be kind of tight scoring wise. But I think that this Yankees offense has regrettably found its stride. They have won now 12 straight, and I'm going to take the over 4 in the first 5 as well, thinking that they could eat there themselves, honestly. I think even if they don't get them themselves. I was not high on Garrett Cole earlier in the season. He's had 2 great starts back-to-back. Fantastic. Good job, Garrett. Maybe he's cheating again. Who knows how he's gotten his spin rates back up. But I think the Yankees are just hot. The A's have been pitching, and they really have been pitching terribly because their offense has been great. The last 30 days, they've had the second-best offense, according to WAR. The Yankees are tied for second, too. So it's both of these teams have been swinging hot bats. I'll take my chances with Garrett Cole, and I'm more looking at the Yankees to have themselves another unfortunate great game.
First 5 over 4.5. What's the juice? Over 4.
First 5 over 4 minus 102, and then the Yankees first 5 team total over 2.5 at plus 124.
All right, well, let's drop the market move and hear what Pete has to say about this very fascinating game. The full game opened up over 7.5 at -113, and it is now at -110. So a 3-cent move towards the under. Cole and the Yankees opened up at -141. They're now at -152. And at Bet365, where I bet it -150 to -160. Pete, take it away, Yankees A's.
Okay, first of all, huge shout out to, who was it, Sharpie, who was ahead of the curve on Cole?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Low baggers are great. And second of all, Jose, I'm sorry I made that joke about COVID. That was not a good joke to make. And I really seriously hope that everything is 100% fine with you. And I'm actually sorry to hear that. And I do think you're a great, wonderful human being. And the fucking graphic, whoever made the you made that Ron Crawford graphic?
Yes, I did.
There you go. Talented guy right there. Huge shout out to Jose. Sorry for that bad joke. All right. Yeah, I agree with what you said. Mania definitely seems off because he has so much back class. I want to do a little bit more in-depth look into why he's been struggling recently before I pull the trigger on fading him. But, if I don't see any reason to think that he's going to turn it around, yeah. Yankees first 5 team total over, and I don't know about the first 5 over. I'd probably just take the Yankees first 5 money line at -150 or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It looks like, the Yankees have some bullpen issues, so I'm not sure that I would want the Yankees full game here. Definitely wouldn't want the Yankees full game here, and Oakland's had some issues as well. So maybe I'd be thinking about the full game over if I were going to take the over, but. I definitely am looking to fade Mania here, just like you're doing, leaning Yankees first 5 and maybe full game team total overs, and more than either of those, Yanks first 5 money line.
So hold on, Jimmy, real quick. You know what, Pete? You're right. I'm going to listen to my elders here. I should just take the Yankees first 5. I'm not going to take their money. I'm not going to take their money line because it's a little too juicy for my blood. But I think first 5 -1/2, that has been working for me. I've been fucked a couple times, and Jimmy and I have both talked about how the 5th inning is our least favorite inning of the baseball game.
Yes.
But I think Yankees first 5 -1/2 at -105, basically the same for the 4. I think that just feels better. I'll bet on Garrett Cole actually being back and good and this Yankees offense, and that just seems like a cheap price for a team that's won 12 straight now.
Yeah, the big question is just what's up with Cole, and that was eye-opening to me as well. Not necessarily because I was more wondering why the spin rate changed, because that is not an easy thing to do. You know what I mean? Most major league pitchers are maximizing whatever spin rates they have. So maybe he was talking to a pitching coach and he changed his what's he do? Oh, you think so?
Oh yeah. It's
some kind of like tack, or like invisible tack, and he's like, yeah, probably.
He's probably just like, fuck it, I'm going to lather on this rosin. I mean, that rosin bag that's out there, we're gonna use that shit up. Or he told the clubbies at in Yankee Stadium or whatever for his rosin bag, because I'm sure he has his own rosin bag. They're like, you know what? Give me a little extra in there. Give me a little some more.
That's probably it, and he's probably like, look, I already got 50 mil in the bank or whatever he's got. Then if they ban me, I can do a speaking tour and everyone will love me and I can talk about how cool it was to use the rosin. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
We've got 2 more games. We've got to get into CFL and NCAA football.
All right, so wait, I'll take the Yankees. I'll make that an official play. I'll go Yankees first 5 money line. And again, if they lose, I will have been wrong and not be happy about it. But it's not a huge line. It's like -156 I'm seeing. So yeah, let me just quickly check one other book here, and might be a little bit lower. Yeah, 155. I'll take it. Yankees first 5 money line -155.
Well, we have a lot of unity on this game. I'm on Yankees first 5 -1/2. I didn't get as good of a line as Jose did. I like that Jose changed his bet there, and it's going to add another angle to tonight's action. As I want Jose to stay. I want Jose to be a producer because he's doing an excellent job, and he makes me excited to come to work because I know that we can execute ideas. But if he's just going to shave his mustache in our face and tell us to go fuck ourselves, well, what do we have to do? We got to let him go.
Actually, speaking of that, our friends, by the way, Pub Sports Radio shirts, go get them at the Pub Sports Radio shop, and stick around for the end of the show because there's a special video at the end of every Friday show. But remember, Jim, our friends at Manscaped, this one right here. This is the one.
That's for that disgusting sack of yours, not for that gorgeous mustache. Again, we are all together on this. Jose, first 5 team total over 2.5 at plus 124 for the Yankees. I'm not on that, but we're all on the Yanks. He's on the first 5 minus half, minus 105. Pete's on the Yankees first 5 minus 156. I'm on the Yankees first 5 and full game. And Ron Crawford, spreadsheet play today, the New York Yankees. And the say hey play of the day, we're counting down. So I don't know if you have the 31st. You probably don't, right? Because that's where you want to shave in front of us all.
We'll see
move
what
it to
happens.
the 1st. Give yourself the 31st.
Well, okay, sure. We'll see what happens. If
You hit these 2 games, give yourself the 31st to catch a winner.
Okay. Well, I guess then, am I rooting for myself to lose so I can shave them? Is that way?
No, you're not. There he is, the Say Hey play of the day. Jose, thank you so much for joining us. The Say Hey double up spot for Jose today. All right, we got to move quickly here because we got lots of football to talk about. Next up, 10:10 p.m., Colorado Rockies at LA Dodgers, Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. 82 Fahrenheit, clear, 5 miles per hour out to right center. We did not know who the Dodgers were throwing, and we still don't. But I tell you what, Pete. I want Freeland first 5. I want the Rockies first 5. The Dodgers just played in a very important series against the Padres. Now they have to come home and play the bums. They're hitting 240 with a 716 OPS versus lefties in the last 30 days. I want to try and get a score here with the Rockies. What do you think of that idea?
Yeah, I mean, you got to wait for the line to come out. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm probably going to be on Washington today because of the line, plus 180. If Washington were a minus 140 favorite, the Mets were a plus 120 dog, I'd be probably all over the Mets on that one. So, sure,
Yeah, I really think this might be a spot where it takes a few innings for the Dodgers to care after that huge series versus the Padres. So I want the Rockies first 5. Sean Thompson says under. It's something I wouldn't be against. We just got to find out who's pitching for the Dodgers. Crystal Warren with a great stat says Dodgers have lost all 3 games this year after playing a series with the Padres. And Vitalis says Rockies first 5 on the road, 13, 41, and 8. Vitalis always coming. If ever I talk about taking the Rockies first 5, Vitalis appears. It's like this magic thing he does. Great to see you, Vitalis.
I'll tell you, Crystal Warren, shout out to you. That's a very sort of under the radar, undervalued, I think, an underappreciated way of looking at things. In college football, a lot of times, situations like that. Like I remember a bunch of years ago, teams that the week after they would play like LSU, some bruising team like that, would have a terrible ATS record the next week. Shout out to Crystal Warren.
Yeah, she's great. She's a great asset. I follow her on Twitter as well. Smart, articulate, thoughtful, great capper, funny. She's great. Okay, so there's the spot I want to attack. Then the final game on this card, Kansas City Royals at Seattle Mariners. God, the Royals are a scrappy team, and their bullpen's been so good lately. Why did I have to go first 5? Why was I so focused on an advantage attacking Kikuchi? Now, he became vulnerable, but it wasn't until the 6th inning, and it makes me extremely angry. T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington, 67 Fahrenheit, clear, 5 miles per hour in. I do not know what to do with either of these 2 pitchers. At times there's been times with both Bubic and Gilbert, I was very confident in thinking that they were predictable. Now, I don't know. Bubic's last start was good at the Cubs, was very good. 6 1/3, 1 hit, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, 9 Ks. Logan Gilbert, 5-5, 5.16 ERA, 1.17. He's falling off. He looks bad right now. He just got crushed at Houston, 4 2/3, 8 hits, 9 earned runs, 2 homers, 1 walk, 5 Ks. The Royals aren't hitting righties at all, and the Mariners aren't hitting lefties. So the Royals are 225, 636 OPS last 30 days versus righties. Mariners are 237, 678 OPS versus lefties, and both bullpens are pitching great. You put that all together, and well, what does it mean? It means I guess we should be looking at an under, but the market already moved from 8.5 to 8, and Gilbert's gone from minus 160 to minus 176. Pete, take it away. Last game on the card. Bubich, Royals, Mariners.
Yeah, yesterday I was on KC as well. I'm sorry you took first 5. The reason I took full game with KC is just because it was a bet on them. Again, they're one of these teams that's undervalued right now, and they're just kind of scrappy. You know what I mean? They're stealing bases, they're doing whatever. So they're the kind of team that will fight back later on if they're not up in the first 5. And And that's also the kind of team that I don't feel bad taking game in and game out in the same kind of situations. And once again, my numbers don't really. I have some things that indicate that this might not be the greatest spot to back Bubic here, but at this line, my numbers like KC again. I'll probably be on it. This is yet another classic situation where there's a game that I kind of like, feel a little bit uncomfortable about it. We'll almost certainly be betting it and on it, but I just can't give it as a public play. But KC is just a scrappy team. They're going to lose, as many games as they win. But if they're, 40, if they're plus 140 dog game in and game out, they're just undervalued. And I think that was the situation yesterday, and I think it's a situation again here.
Agreed. And I can't let yesterday's anger get involved in this spot.
Yeah.
So that's where we stand with the Royals. I'm not going to add anything right now, but I'm certainly going to be thinking about it today. All right, let's do a quick review.
Actually, you know what, Jimmy the Bag. I'll take KC. I'll take him +1. +1. The money line is +161. The run line is plus 1.5 is -128. So that comes out to whatever, +112 or 115 or whatever. I'll take KC official +161 -128. Even though Bubic had a really nice start last time, but you see a lot these like young guys with live stuff. They're very inconsistent, and he had good chemistry with his catcher in his last start. I don't know who's going to be catching today. He throws a lot of strikes. So it's not a great spot for him, but again, it's just based on KC being a scrappy team that's going to fight the whole game and getting a huge underdog line. I don't like it as much as yesterday, but I like it enough to make it official. 161 and -128. +1 KC.
I think that's an interesting look. I like it. I think I would go for the score, but you're getting a big enough score there anyways because you're still getting the plus.
Yeah, still a dog line.
Puzzler says, did you talk about the San Diego game? We did briefly, but at that time we did not know who was pitching for the Angels, and we still don't. So we talked about Musgrove being a little more vulnerable on the road. All right, let's review all of the action here today. So we start with the taint play today, Arizona, Philadelphia, first 5 under 4.5 at -105. Then Pete is on the first 5 over 4.5 in Cardinals, Pittsburgh, and I like the breakdown, and I'm going to move with it. Then the Rays, Pete is on a -1, and he's also on the first 5 team total over 3.5 at +110. Blue Balls pick of the day, Rays team total over 5.5. 7:10 p.m. Eastern, I'm on Boston first 5 -0.5 and the full game over 9.5. Beat that market move comfortably. Rusty Kuntz play of the day's Indians over 3.5 team total. Guardians should say there. And then 7:10 p.m. Eastern, nothing for Marlins Reds. I want the Tigers, and I'm going to wait for more Blue Jays money to come in. Then the over 8.5 in Nationals Mets. I think I will end up pulling the trigger. Pete's on the Nets full game, team total over 3.5, and Taylor MacArthur in the chat really likes that look. He's on it as well. Pete is on the Braves first 5 in full game, and the full game for the Braves is the birthday pick. He's going right up against Twatty Latte. He's going right up against the Pimp Slap play of the day, and Mike M. With the Pimp Slap play today, sorry. So there he is, going up against some dangerous cappers there. And Long Beach Reach from Arnoli knows is Giants Braves first 5 under 4.5. That's his best spot on the board. Pete is on the full game under 9 at +105, and the Houston team total under 5.5 at -115 in Astros Rangers. I like that under 5.5 for the Astros. I'm quite interested in that. I want Cubs first 5, and I thought public would come in on the White Sox, and I was dead wrong. You're dead wrong. You would say the weak of the strong. Who got it going on? Cubs first 5 was +170, now +150. So I'm going to wait till just before last pitch. Nothing. We think the Brewers Twins are going to be rained out. Padres Angels. We don't know who's pitching for the Angels. Then tons of moves on the Yankees game. Yankees first 5 team total over 2.5 at +124 for Jose, and first 5 -0.5 -105. Pete's on the Yankees first 5 -156. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today is on the Yankees -145, and I'm on the Yankees -1 and -119, and the Yankees first 5 -0.5. But I got -115 on that. Then I want Freeland first 5. Look, I guess I understand that the Padres aren't. the worry. The worry is the San Francisco Giants. But I do think that it was an emotional affair, that series. And especially last night, I really think that this could be a spot where they're a little bit vulnerable at home. And I'm going to try to attack them first 5 for a huge score with the Rockies. Then Pete's on the Royals +1. And I want in on the Royals action. It's just going to take me a little bit of time to figure that out. to figure that out. So there you have it. Is that all right, Pete?
Yeah. I mean, again, anyone, including you, Jimmy the Bag, who does something influenced by my opinions, it's I feel a little bit uncomfortable about all of them.
Yeah, it's not a real comfortable time of year betting baseball in the late days of August and moving into September.
Yeah, it can be. It's just that there's a lot of big dogs that you're betting that should be underdogs. They're just shouldn't be as big as the market is giving them credit for, and it's just Sometimes there are the old first 5 team total over locks 2.5 against Bartolo Colon or whatever, but usually every play is a little bit nerve wracking.
No, I hear you. I absolutely hear you. All right, let's quickly move on to CFL, and then we got our special guest, DJ Big Boss, joining us for NCAA football. We have the Tiger Cats Alouettes, and I'm 2-1 plus 0.85 units. I've been very tight, only 3 bets. This is bet number 4. I took the over 47, and Pete also, without us talking to each other, that was going to be his look on this game. Let me just set a quick table for Pete. It's Tigers, Alouettes, Tiger Cats open up 0-2, but 2 tough games on the road, and the Alouettes are 1-1, and they went into Calgary as big favorites and got smacked. We're at Percival Molson Memorial Stadium, Montreal, Quebec, 72 Fahrenheit, mostly sunny, 4 miles per hour. Hamilton comes in off their bye week, an ugly 0-2 record, but they still have a ton of pieces from their 15-3 Grey Cup finalists in 2019, and they faced 2 very tough tests in week 1 at Winnipeg, week 2 at Saskatchewan. Those are the 2 toughest places to play in the entire league. I'll go into more in a second, but the Ticats opened up at -1. They got up to -2.5. Now they're back at 2. This total opened up at 46.5, and it's now at 47 at most books, but Heritage and Bet365 at 47.5. Pete, talk to me about your thoughts on the over, and I'll jump in as well.
Ham was the favorite, the Grey Cup favorite this year. They lost their first 2 games, so I would normally be liking them, except Montreal is tough. They're off a loss. They're going to be getting up for this game, so I don't love it. You know what I mean? When I'm in sports betting, I want to see multiple factors pointing the same way, and kind of Hamilton and Montreal I see as it's not a down spot for it. If it were a down or neutral spot for Montreal, I'd probably pull the trigger on Hamilton to win, but it's kind of an up spot for them as well. So I just took the over 47 -110. I'll make that official. Of course, new quarterback in for Hamilton, and whether they win or lose, they were anemic offensively the first 2 weeks, and they'll definitely bounce back here. Montreal strong running game. They'll put up their points. Quarterback Davis is probably going to get his production as well. Some injuries for Hamilton as well, and on defense. So put it all together, and the over 47 was my play. I kind of was leaning Hamilton, but I don't know. Hamilton, as you know, Jimmy the Bag, as Canadians and people who should be Canadians, such as myself, know, Hamilton does well in Montreal usually, but this is just not Montreal's going to be up for this one, bounce back spot for them as well. So I'll just take the over 47.
I love it. I mean, Montreal used to be a real easy place to play. You go in.
Oh, sure. No, of course.
You go in, you beat a weak team, you head over to the strip clubs, the most famous strip clubs in our country, and you party the night away. Now it is a tough place to play, and shout out to Kari Jones, who's done that, a quarterback that I love very much in his days with the BC Lions. So Dane Evans, the starting quarterback for week 4 for the Ticats, and that's not because of bad play from Masoli. Masoli dealing with sore ribs. So Evans made his debut week 2, and he did not look good. 3 passes on 10 attempts for 21 yards. And those of you remember him from Tulsa. He spent 3 years in Hamilton, 23 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Look, they don't want Evans as their starting quarterback. They want Masoli to be their starting quarterback. So I do think that makes I know a lot of people like Hamilton in this spot, but I want to watch Evans in a full game. Now, the Ticats will be without defensive end Jagarrett Davis. Steinauer said knowingly or unknowingly, we don't know, but broke CFL COVID protocols, ineligible to play this week. And that's sort of one of the things that pushed me over the edge to take the over. We have Vernon Adams Jr., the quarterback for the Alouettes, so dangerous, but he doesn't complete enough passes. So, we could be sitting and watching all this unfold with the Philadelphia Eagles this year. But Vernon Adams, last week he went 20 for 42 for 261 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's so mobile. He ran 8 times for 65 yards. And he hates the Ticats. He hates them with a passion. That's one of the reasons why I won't take the Tigers. Vernon Adams was kept on the sidelines all of 2018 by the Tabbies. They wouldn't play him. They wouldn't, and so he despises this football team. And I know he wants to get at them. So the question is, can Cameron Kelly, Simone Lawrence, Jovan Santos Knox take care of a very mobile quarterback without a very important defensive end? It's pretty much up for you guys to decide. Dennis Garcia says, if you think Hamilton's any good, you kind of have to bet them here. 0-2 off a bye. It's their spot. I agree. And I think they are a good team, but, I'm just very comfortable with the over. I think points are going to be scored. So there is our CFL breakdown and just my fourth bet of the year in CFL. There you have it. Percival Molson Memorial Stadium. Okay, so, and North End is saying the Cats O-line is weak. Here we go. It is now time for NCAA football and a low bagger legend coming up right now to help us break down these 5 games. Please welcome back, making his Pub Sports Radio debut, DJ Big Boss in the house.
Oh, hell yeah.
What up, dog? It's only right? Hey, Jimmy, Pub Sports Radio, that's Mando. Loshak in the back, that's Mando. Big Boss on the show, that's Mando. Low baggers in the chat, that's Mando. It's college football time. What's happening? How y'all feeling?
Oh, man.
I'm feeling great.
Yeah, man, you make capping so much fun, and thankful for your friendship and to cap with you, my man. So great to see you back on screen where you belong. DJ Big Boss in the house. DJ Big Boss, let's get right to work right now. We have the first game in NCAA football, and it's a big one in Champaign, Illinois, Memorial Stadium. Nebraska, Illinois. 10 action here. So we have an opener line of 7. So it opened as Nebraska at -7. There's been no movement. This total opened up at 55. We do see 54.5 on the board. Brett Bielema is returned to the college ranks in the Big Ten. Spent the last 2 years with the New York Giants. He replaces Lovie Smith. He took the job in December, so he had a lot of time to prepare for this moment. He won 2 big titles in the share of a third in 7 years at Wisconsin, and then had a rough run in Arkansas. 20 of 25 returning seniors. Brandon Peters remains the Illinois starter. Peters, 21 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 16 games over 2 years since he transferred over from Michigan. Also can run. Illinois returns 82% of its total starters on offense, 86 on defense, 42 seniors, and a Power 5 high 22 super seniors who are using the extra year of eligibility. Scott Frost, 4th year as head coach of Nebraska. Better shit or get off the pot. 12-20 in 3 seasons. And the Illini beat the Huskers 41-23 in Lincoln last year. And the Cornhuskers have finished no higher than 5th in the West under Frost. DJ Big Boss, are Nebraska worthy 7-point favorites? Or do you think this Illinois squad at home can do some damage? Take it away, my man.
Man, this is a weird game right here, man. First of all, this type of game supposed to be played in the wintertime. These two usually match up much later in the season. They opened against each other, and it's a revenge game. Last year, Illinois came in and beat Nebraska on their home turf. So Nebraska's going over there to Illinois. We got a coaching change right there. Nebraska has been slowly moving the pedals forward. So I gotta side with Nebraska a little bit, going into it. But this Illinois team was talented last year. They showed up a bunch of games last year, but that's a whole nother topic. If you want to go into that 2020 season, you can't really carry a lot of that information over. Some teams just survive better than others. So I'm not going to even go there. You probably have to go even further than that. But this is a revenge game now. The books open up -7. So I'm siding big time right here on Nebraska. I wouldn't touch the total because, like I said, this probably should have been played in a cold weather situation, and is normally probably played in a cold weather situation. But right here, Illinois, I believe they on turf, so that's always run everything a little bit faster. If anything, I would lean over in this one.
leaning over, and very interesting spot right before we head over to Pete. Our Dennis Garcia says, I want to take Illinois, but I haven't seen a bigger public dog all year. 9,217 tickets in. We have 70% of the tickets. Listen to this. 94% of the money line cash on Illinois. I mean, that's nuts. And then 44% of the tickets and 84% of cash on the under. That's 9,217 tickets in. Fascinating start to college football. Pete Loshak, what do you think here?
Oh, I haven't looked at any of these college games. So, we laugh, but, the rule number one in sports betting, and in life, but particularly in sports betting, don't bite off more than you can chew. You know what I'm saying? So I'm focusing on MLB right now, and I haven't looked at college football yet in depth.
No worries, because we've seen your prowess in college football. We've seen you win contests with multiple thousand competitors. So,
oh yeah, beat the brick. The one time they made me eligible, I won it. Pow!
That is the money line, Turnsy, at 94% of the money line. On the spread, we have 64% of the tickets on Illinois and 75% of the cash on the spread. Wow. Big Boss, when you hear that much money and that much money on Illinois, does that make you think Nebraska is going to cover this?
Hey, I'm telling you, there's a big misconception always in college football. Many people that play college football should just take a break. It's a rough thing to do, and you can't. They're going on the biases of last year going into this game, being that Illinois whooped Nebraska convincingly last year. So everybody, as soon as they took a glance at it, they seen that, and they was like, whoa, here they come back again, and they at home. Bam, that's the best money line bet right here. The line is at 7. It's reachable, but it's clearly, on the field that Nebraska has been making slow moves. The Nebraska fans never went anywhere, trust me. And they making slow moves towards it right here. A win on the road right here, a conference win on the road right here for Nebraska in this coach's 4th year is where they're supposed to be. So I would go money line Nebraska, but it would be a bad price. But I don't know about laying the 7. Like I said, I'm kind of shy of the side right here, but I think the number is kind of low because they probably judging these teams from normal conditions. But right here, I think both of these teams, Nebraska runs the ball very well, and Illinois can throw the ball very well, and they're playing on turf. They're going to be sped up a little bit. I don't even understand why it's down at 54.5, but I like the over. The chat likes the under though, but I'm usually on the other side, so that's no big deal. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a lot of little bias in the first week or two of college football. Teams traveling halfway across the country to play teams they never played, and all kinds of stuff like that goes on. So it's gonna be a lot of bias. But this right here is a conference game, only conference game on the card this week. It actually means something, and I'm gonna stick with Nebraska. One thing, the books is already over there, and they put it at a full 7. People, it's pretty much an even matchup when you consider they beat them last year, and everybody's returning all kinds of players. But everybody's returning all kinds of players, and a lot of these players took that extra year. So 4th, 5th, 6th year quarterbacks, depth, all that stuff is there. So it's going to be a nice season to go through, man. Be looking for some dogs to hit. But in this one right here, I'm going to roll with the books, and I'm going to take Nebraska.
I think that makes sense. Bertie says the line's acting accordingly. Lines dropped, 5 points from opening spread. I don't have that anywhere. I mean, Pinnacle opened it up on the 6th of August at 7, and it went to 7.5 immediately. Bet Online opened it on the 30th. Oh, sorry, the 6th. That was the 6th of August or 6th of July. Let me just double check that quickly. That's important. The 6th of August. So Bet Online opened this up much earlier. Bet Online opened this up on the 30th of June at 9. And the first thing that happened was it went to 9.5 in the first week. So then it got bet down. So I don't see huge movement here that would make it, make sense. Brady says all that can happen if one side gets bet, the line will drop. What is happening? Plus 6.5 too low now. So I at Pinnacle, it was a very sharp book. It hasn't moved. 7, sitting at 7. I mean, it's gone down to 6.5 and it's gone up to 7.5, but it hasn't moved in 30 days. Okay, so let's move on to our next spot on the board. and it's UConn at Fresno State, Bulldog Stadium in Fresno, California. 87 Fahrenheit, sunny, 4 miles per hour. Fresno opening up as 27.5-point favorites at Pinnacle. No movement there. It's total opening up at 62.5. It's now at 63. Fresno coming off a 3-3 season last fall. I saw them play only Mountain West games. And those of you joining us who don't know DJ Big Boss, the Mountain West is where he does it best. He focuses on this conference and he destroys it. The last time, so UConn is tricky here. They've always been so porous at football, awful, and they didn't even play last year. So, I mean, last time we saw them, in 2019, they were in the AAC. Now they're independent. They haven't had a winning season since 2010. They've won 3 games over the last 2 seasons. And Jack Zergiotis is expected to start, played 10 games at quarterback for the Huskies as a true freshman. And he looked okay. He passed for 1,782 yards, 9 touchdown passes. And he gets Cam Ross back, who was also a true freshman, and he was excellent in 2019. It's their defense that was just horrible. 467 yards allowed per game, 41 points per game. And it looks like they have a much stronger linebacker crew. They got former Notre Dame player, who I'm sure you know, DJ Morgan. He was part of the 2019 squad for UConn. And Fresno State meets Oregon next, and this is going to be set up as an exhibition game, really, for Fresno State. They finished first in the Mountain West last year in – what do I have here? Sorry. And we have Jake Haener, the old Washington Huskies quarterback. They fourth nationally in passing average per game and top 20th nationally in pass efficiency and completions per game. They have their top receiver coming back, Jalen Cropper, top 5 in the country in sacks last season with Kwame Jones and David Perales. So I wonder this is my thought, and I want you to hear you take it away because I know you know these teams, especially Fresno State, so well. Is this a spot where if it's an exhibition game, we take Fresno State to smash them first half, and then they bring in all the other players to get a chance to see what they're like in the second half, and they don't take it too seriously?
Absolutely not, Jimmy. Okay. I'm going to say this slowly so the chat can hear. Get your money, get to the book, lay the points, and take Fresno State. I mean, there's no case to make for UConn to even show up in this game. We talking like 50-something to 6 or whatever. Like, even in conference competition last year, Fresno State averaged way over 30 points, and you're going to play them against a team that was sorry in 19, sorry in 18, sorry in 17, and probably going to be sorry in 2021. So them coming to the Mountain West plays really well out of conference, and this is going to be a nice little run out for Coach, what's his name, DeBoer, Kalen DeBoer. It's going to be a nice run out for DeBoer to show his offensive talents. That's where the coach is at. He's an offensive guy, so expect him to put up points. You know, offensive guys coming out, they want to see all their weapons, and they're going to keep scoring. They ain't taking no mercy. They at home. Ain't nothing to do in Fresno State but go to this game tomorrow.
And sorry, when I said first in Mountain West, I was in passing. Sorry, it was first in passing, 5th nationally in passing. Very, very interesting. So you don't think they pull everybody in the second half?
Nah, that's not a big thing. It's you know, these players is eager to play. They want to play, man. These young kids, you know, all the hoops they got to jump through to even get on the field and play during the COVID. They want to play, man. They, you know, ain't nothing better for a coach but to see his players enjoy a win, especially first game coming out in the season. This time they get a junior college team. They probably should go down to junior college over at UConn if they didn't play basketball so well. But you know, they get that, and you know, you got to let them run it up. You got to see Oregon next week. You want your guys to go in this, you know, feeling good. You want the offense to be well oiled. So you know, you out there. It ain't no big deal about seeing what kind of depth you got or anything like that. This dude came in last year. He got bit, you know, in the first game, but then he bounced back and had a decent season up at Fresno State. And your guy Jake Haener, you know, this is a welcome home for him. Like, he's actually from the Bay, and he went up to, I believe it was Washington, and now he's back at home. He wanted to come back home. Like, they're gonna make a big deal about this guy, believe it or not. So they going high power quarterback, high power offense. Ain't no way I could sit on the other side of that. That 27, 28, whatever. It's 54 to 6 or 7, maybe. I'll automatically book it.
I like it. Pete, I'm just going to keep rolling, but jump in anytime.
Yeah, sure. No, are we going to do all the games?
Yeah, we have 3 more.
What's the last one we're going to do? San Jose State, Southern Utah?
Yes.
Okay, I'm researching that and capping it right now. Right now. This is going to be
Perfect.
on the spot, like when they play chess really fast. This is a handicapping with a time limit. Hell yeah.
I love it. I love you, Pete, man.
You know what I'm talking about, right? When they play chess, they got the clock and bam, 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 bam. That's what we're doing handicapping style.
3:10 p.m. Eastern. Next up for us, Big Boss, Hawaii at UCLA, Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California, 93 Fahrenheit, sunny. 5 miles per hour is the wind. This total opened up at 69.5 and is dropping down to 67.5 now. UCLA opening up at -17. Pinnacle has moved it to 18, and the rest are at 7. Or most of the books are at 17.5 on the board. Chip Kelly's 4th season in charge, and they have not been getting their money's worth. 10-21 record in Westwood, 0-6 in non-conference games. So this is a huge game for them. Now, I want you guys to know that the Taint and David Summers combo, they're going to put out an NCAA football bet each week. They call it the Summer of Taint, and that is Hawaii plus 18. Hawaii plus 18. But this is a huge game for UCLA. 3-4 last year. They returned 20 starters, 10 on each side of the ball. Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Chip Kelly and Thompson-Robinson have to have this first winning season at Westwood since 2015. But the Rainbow Warriors aren't pushovers, so a lot of people were a little surprised by the 18-point opener, 17.5, whatever it was. They returned 18 starters from a squad that was 5-4 last season. They're 4-12 last 16 games against Pac-12 opponents. And, of course, and DJ Big Boss talks about it all the time, how they play at home and how they play on the road. All 4 of those wins against Pac-12 opponents came at home, not on the road. UCLA's running game was 12th in the nation last year. No Demetric Felton, but Bertrand Brown, who averaged 6.6 yards per carry, is going to be the lead back. And Hawaii was Swiss cheese on defense, rushing. They allowed 211.7 rushing yards per game. That was 7th worst in the entire nation. Hawaii's Chevin Cordero is a dual threat, but he did not look good last year. 21 touchdowns last season, 14 passes, 7 rushing, 3 carries over 50 yards. And Calvin Turner, the all-purpose back, is, there for Hawaii. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this because I heard about the Summer of Taint's first bet of the year on Hawaii. Do you agree with that look? What's your plan?
Oh man, Jimmy. Pete, what time is it over there where you at, Pete?
It's time to get busy. It's time to handicap the Southern Utah game. Oh, you mean the actual time?
Yeah, the actual time. What time is it?
Sorry, 12:59 p.m.
Okay, it's not too late for me to take a drink, right?
Oh, hell no. Yeah, that's right. It's time to take a drink.
Oh man, because this game right here, this one is I thought I had it all on good, but it kind of worried me. I kind of looked out and seen some people on the other side of Hawaii, and I was like, oh, I don't know. So I had to go dig deep in the book right here. Now I'm gonna tell you my case for UCLA, and then I'll tell you my case for Hawaii, because that's Mountain West where I do it the best. So my case for UCLA is, look, Chips ain't did nothing since he came to UCLA right here. He showed some little sparks here and there. The thing about Chip is he's not meshing with the players very well right there. They don't really feel him like that. But in this year right here, this is a crapshoot. What he did was he went and he recruited some cats from Notre Dame, Alabama. I don't even know how he did it, but he recruited a kid from USC. And how you going to go on the other side of LA and go to UCLA? Nobody's going to respect that in LA. I don't even know why that kid would do that. But I guess, now that the players can get a little money, somebody's putting up some money for these guys to come over here and showboat a little bit. So, if you was a player, I don't care if I was 3rd, 4th string at Alabama, you're going to get in because they blow out people all the time. So why would you go from playing for Alabama to come play for UCLA? So something's going on right here. Chip's on his last leg right here. The seat is getting hot. And everybody's buying in on it, though. Everybody who did previews, they got UCLA like ranked 26 or something like that. But we see this every year in college football. SC's always so good, and all these teams, even Notre Dame, we always top 5 or something. Then, when the season plays out, it's something totally different. So if you want to back what I would say is the public and all this money and extra stuff that they putting behind these players for UCLA to have this sleeper season this year, but it is. Everybody know I'm a big believer in 4th-year coaches, because by the 4th year, that's when you got all your players in there. Everybody should be buying in the system. So I'm really high on 4th-year coaches. This is his 4th year here. He went and bought his way through transfers to get the defense that he want, and he's returning a lot of players. But I don't see a big deal about the returning players. But because of the rule that basically like last year didn't count, every team got returning players. Like everybody that went to the NFL is gone. Everybody else is like, hey, we're gonna stay back here and play again. So another issue on UCLA is the quarterback Dorian Johnson. So they saying that Dorian could be a Heisman candidate and blah 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 blah. This guy is a playmaker. What does the playmaker mean? That means the original play didn't work and you had to make the best of it. So this guy does make some good plays outside the pocket and then, but that says nothing to them blocking, passing assignments, route running. That says nothing to that. So I don't know. It's going to be a struggle for this guy as well in this one right here. So I was really on Hawaii from the get-go. On my show over on Who Bangin', we hang out with the offensive tackle over there, Michael Vanderpool. He comes on and hangs out with us a lot. So we've been chopping it up with Hawaii this whole time. In my preview of Hawaii, I like Hawaii, but they might have played a little better than expected last year, which is nothing to carry over in this year. Coach Todd Graham got a lot to prove on the field still in this year. So I'm buying in a little bit that he's changed over the system since he came in there and did a good job. But it's only his 2nd year. He's been exposed a little bit, so they got tape to go back and watch. But the things that I like about Todd Graham is he came from Arizona State. He won Coach of the Year in 2013 in the Pac-12. So he's familiar with the Pac-12, and he's beat UCLA before. So, he that whole factor is in there with Todd Graham. In order to prove himself, this would be a great win for him. And the Mountain West has beat UCLA the last time 2 times they seen them. It was San Diego State beat them and Fresno State beat them. So it's nothing new for Kelly to get beat by the Mountain West teams. And this is going to be a good team coming at them right here. So I really don't understand the 18 other than they just leaning high on people that's going to buy in on UCLA. But I really like taking the 18 and taking Hawaii. Cordero, Jimmy, you listen. If you go back and play the stats that you said for him, it ain't really that bad. He had 7 touchdowns on the ground. He had 14 touchdowns in the air. But he shows up sometimes, and then sometimes he don't. That had a lot to do with the offensive line. They building that over there. Todd Graham's he's with help getting the offensive line together. So they could be looking in the right direction. And then the other dynamic with this game is, I always say, Cal sports, basically the West Coast sports right here, a lot of these players played against each other and everything. If you go look at the rosters, UCLA got 2 handfuls of California players. Hawaii got a handful of California players. UCLA got a handful of Texas players. Hawaii got a handful of Texas players as well. So what does that mean? When they meet on the field, they either teammates or they played each other again. If I'm playing DB, I schooled you in high school. I'm going to school you right here, even though I play for Hawaii and you play for UCLA. So those kind of dynamics come in. So I'm well with the tank. It's just way too many points. Even if UCLA is that team, they probably win by like 10, 11, something like that. But 18 and 17 and a half seems way out of pocket. But when I digged into the game, and I've been on I've been talking to my guy Micah from Hawaii, and he like, we coming to smash. So I've been on Hawaii from the get-go, right? So I had to go dig deeper into it to make some betting sense. And betting sense sounds like the under is the play, because UCLA, they called in most of those transfers on defense that was already returning almost 11 players. Hawaii defense is almost returning 10, 11 players. Only hangups they got is on offense. Only hangups UCLA got is on offense. 68 points is way too high for that one. So the unders seems like it should come in as a landslide. I'll probably go a little heavier on that, but I'm definitely putting a little sprinkle on the money line for Hawaii, and I'm also taking Hawaii plus them points.
Wow, great breakdown there. And I guess I'm hard on Cordero after watching Cole McDonald over there. So that's a legitimate thing that you said there. There you have it. So just a couple things with where the cash lies. And Dennis Garcia made an interesting point about that spot with Fresno, Connecticut. And I'm not sure they open it up in the second half with Oregon on board. And when I look at the cash here, we have 4,072 tickets in, and 48% of the tickets are on the under, but 85% of cash are on the cash is on the under. And we know UConn's not going to score, even though Fresno State's defense is bad. So I am leaning toward an under there. In the Hawaii UCLA spot, we have 6,014 tickets in. 46% of the spread bets are on Hawaii, but 59% of the cash. And then 33% of the tickets are on the over and 82% of the cash. So interesting notes there. We got to speed this up a little bit. So we have 2 games left, and I know, your magic with San Jose State last year, you passed on to me, and you put cash in my pockets, and I was very thankful. Your analysis of San Jose State last year all year was spectacular. So we're going to get there. But first we have UTEP at Mexico State here. So let's just quickly talk on this one, and then we'll jump past it. UTEP, Mexico State. UTEP opening up at -9.5 and now -10, and this total is shooting up. It's gone from 56.5, and now we see 59 on the board. Aggie Memorial Stadium with 78 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 9 miles per hour is the wind. New Mexico State canceled its 2020 fall schedule, but they have won 3 straight in the series. So while New Mexico State didn't play, UTEP made a huge step forward. A 3-5 record. That's the first time since 2016 that they've won more than 1 game in the season. Now, almost every offensive starter returns, including Gavin Hardison, their quarterback. Their receiver duo of Cowing and Garrett both return. Hardison made 7 starts last year, 54.3% completion rate, 1,419 yards, 5 touchdowns, 5 picks. And Deion Hankins is going to be back. So their offensive line returns fully intact. And I know it wasn't very good last year, but it comes back fully intact. So there you go. Then when we move over for Mexico State, we know that it's going to be Juwan Price rolling, Jonah Johnson. The Aggies gave up 900 yards in 2 spring games against FCS foes. And there's just been a big change here. UTEP is a worthy favorite now, and it's moved to 10. Are you making moves on this spot here, UTEP at Mexico State?
Man, Jimmy, you are the best at what you do, because ain't no way that I would have said that many words about this game, and it's a bum fight. This is a plain bum fight right here, man. It's kind of difficult, though. UTEP did show little signs of improvement last year, which, well, let's give them the fact that they're a Texas school. I'll just give them that fact. If you want to roll with Texas school being dominant right there, yeah. And I'm not sure if New Mexico State even played last year too. But right here, man, bum fight rule number 1 is take the dog at home, get the points in the bum fight. 10's a scary number because this kind of leads into saying, oh, this team is capable of blowing this team out. But yet and still, they're both bums. So, in this one, I wouldn't pay much attention to it. But if I had to bet on it, I'm going to take bum fight rule number 1 and take New Mexico State plus the points.
Interesting, because New Mexico State looked horrific in the springtime. Maybe it's just probably a stay-hop spot. All right, let's move on to the final game on the card, 10 p.m. Southern Utah at San Jose State.
Yo, Jim. Before we get to Big Boss's analysis game, I got a 15-second analysis and a pick. So I just don't want people to think I'm copying him. I don't want them to think I'm copying him. Go ahead.
We'll let you roll out here. 80 Fahrenheit, sunny, 11 miles per hour is the wind. This total opened up at 56, now 56.5, and San Jose State is taking money, opening up -21, now -24.5. Jared JB, I've not talked about the Travers yet. I've been so stuck with NFL football, and I got 2 more videos to shoot here in just under an hour. So I will have a pick, and I'll have a bet, and I'll tweet out my ticket. So that will all happen, but I'm not quite ready yet. So here we go. Fat win, looking at the over 56.5. He says it looks very nice in the San Jose State game. Spartans finished a perfect 6-0 at home. They changed everything last year, and you were all over this change. And they, 4 straight wins against Mountain West, and then they lose 2 games with COVID. No, they they didn't get to play 2 games. I don't mean lose, but they lose the opportunity to play 2 games because of COVID. Then they bounce back that regular season with 2 more wins, beating Boise State 34-20 for that first conference championship since 1991, and we were all over that. And then we moved on to Ball State for the MAC when the MAC champion played them in the Arizona Bowl. It's just we played San Jose State like a fiddle last year, and I hope we can do that again. And Southern Utah got 1 win in their spring campaign, 34-24 road victory against Cal Poly. So now their offense looked good the whole time. It's just their defense looked terrible. They 283.8 yards per game through the air. So Justin Miller, redshirt sophomore, comes in. But San Jose State defensive lineman Cade Hall, Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year and All-American in 2020. He was the first San Jose State defensive lineman selected as an All-American in 8 years. He's a beast. So that first game against Air Force, they win 17-6, but then they score at least 28 points in their next 6 games. They reached the 30-point mark in 5 out of 6, and Nick Starkel was magic, and now he's a super senior coming back. Their offensive line is so strong. They have a 6-year left tackle who is on the Outland Trophy watch list, and Jack Snyder. So let's let Pete take it away, and then we'll move over to DJ Big Boss. Pete, how are you looking to bet this?
This is what I was thinking when I first looked at the line. High expectations for San Jose State, right? Don't really care about this game. USC up next, right? Are they looking for the blowout? I don't know. Southern Utah obviously sucks. Their defense is bad, but that's against teams that are trying to blow them out. Under 57, minus 112 at Pinnacle. What do you think, DJ Big Boss?
This is a tricky game right here for me because I love me some San Jose State, and I was talking to my guy Nolier before this season even came up, and we was like, maybe the guy over at San Jose State, Brent Brenner, maybe he blew his load, you know what I'm saying? And another thing, this guy is a spectacular coach. He may be NFL bound this year. It's not much to gloat about. Like I said, every team has it, but he returns a bunch of people that stayed, and he's got a lot of returners on offense. The defense was stout last year. That's how they won the Mountain West championship. Mountain West ain't no joke. They went through Boise, who has one of the biggest passing attacks. They went through San Diego State, who plays awesome defense and has a dynamic running system. They went through the storm for that one. So Brent Brenner, he earned that one. Nick Starkel, he didn't play much to it as it looks because he didn't have no spectacular passing. The teams just kind of won, but they played a lot behind the defense. So I really love the defense coming back. It's like 6 or 7 seniors right there that decided to stay just for that. But you go to San Jose State, so I don't know what your chances are going to the combine. But, these guys stay back to play another year with their coach. They get 6 year. Like, we heard super senior 5th year, but this is super senior 6 year, and he was a transfer to San Jose State as well, and Nick Starkel. So, Nick Starkel, if you're out there listening, man, play fucking good, man. Play good this year. Like, get the ball out your hand and play good. You got an offensive line. You got a running attack. But the problem that I have with this game right here is that Brent Brenner doesn't mind playing a slow game. If you look at some of those games when he played some of those teams, he doesn't mind. If you want to go, run 3 and out, he'll go it because he trusts in his defense. So I would definitely lean under right there big time because Brent Brenner, he's a smart guy. Like, he doesn't want to go out and do too much. Like, if you talk about a team who may put in some extra people late in the 4th, because they all going to cramp up. Don't forget, big newsflash. These young players are going to cramp up in the second half. So if you lose in the first half and you go into second half, make sure you consider that a lot of these guys just going out of nowhere pop out the game. But this team right here, they're defending champs. So why keep running everybody if we already up in the second half? So more than likely they'll pull those guys out to keep them from cramping. So I like that in this one, man. I like the under. But if I'm gonna take a side, I gotta take San Jose State. No way you can take Southern Utah, man. Them guys is bad in the conference with the WAC. They bad in the WAC. Like, they don't even play up the top competition in the WAC. They don't even play up I'm sorry, they in the Big Sky. They don't even play up to play those guys, man. So no way that they're gonna play San Jose State and play up right there. I don't know if y'all know about the college football thing out there, but the home team kind of pays for the away team to come play them in the exhibition games. So think about it. San Jose State shoots a little money to Southern Utah to come on down and get their ass kicked.
Yeah. That sounds so. Yeah. So I mean, I'm looking at this. I'm thinking, it might be one of those classic Week 1 situations where the team that's just horrible on paper kind of surprises and it's closer and it's like 1916, or they might get blown the f out and it's like 47-7, something like that, and it still sneaks under 57. That's an official play for me. 57 minus 112. And to echo what DJ Big Boss said, Jose, if you're listening, and I know you are, cap good this week, man. Cap good this upcoming week, okay?
That was.
I like your style, Big Boss.
Oh yeah, Big Boss.
Man, I love you. I should have put my background with my picture of Jimmy and Pete from Vegas, man, because I always hold that picture in my phone.
Hell yeah, I got that picture too. I think I got a ton of pictures from Vegas,
man.
We love you, DJ Big Boss. Thank you so much, our college football expert, and I want him on the show a lot as we move forward. So we'll get into discussions about that. Big Boss, tell us where we can find you on Twitter. Tell us a little bit about Who Bangin' Sports Talk and what you got coming up.
Oh, you already know you can catch me at DJ Big Boss, spelled out just like it is on the screen right there on Twitter, and right on YouTube you can catch me at Who Bangin' Sports Talk. Who Bangin' Sports Talk. Come over there. I got the whole preview over there, the Mountain West lined up. You can go through my opinion, man. Basically, when it comes to college football, I hit the books, man. I hit the books.
Oh, shit.
According to hitting the books, man, and I don't just go from one source. I got a couple sources. Plus, I do my internet research. But go ahead. I kind of sum it up in there in a couple previews for the Mountain West. And I've also went halfway into the Sun Belt because that's going to be my second. I'm going over to the Fun Belt, Sun Belt too, Jimmy. Nice. I'm going to conquer these conferences one by one. And next thing you know, someday I'm going to be like my boy Maxwell Smart and know all these conferences by like the back of my hand. But I'm working with the Sun Belt, Fun Belt. I'm going to have Noli working with me on this one because he likes playing the Sun Belt as well. And I got some previews. I got 5 of them up. I got the other 5 coming to you soon. So make sure you follow at Who Bangin' Sports Talk. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. You'll get the alerts when all those stuffs drop. They quick. I'm not trying to take up your whole day. It's only a couple minutes. Come on, give your boy a listen. Even if you just put it on mute, give me a play, subscribe, tell a friend, man. We here, we in it to win it. We've been in it to win it. Jimmy and Pete back together. Y'all don't even know, like, some of y'all in the chat know, but y'all don't even know what that means to the Low Bag Nation, man. So we running on all 4 cylinders right now, and we heading for the big ones. And this Saturday, I'm gonna do a special Boss in the Sauce with my man Ragu.
Nice.
Early in the morning, we're gonna go over some stuff, some of his looks, some of my looks. I got some more information on some of these. I could talk about the UCLA game for 2 hours, but I got some more information to put out there for y'all. So come over and check that out with us for a little while, and stay tuned. Be looking out for me over here, Jimmy. I could check in, a couple times a week, and shoot you some looks on what I'm looking at. But I'm really focused this year. Like a guy asked me yesterday, he was like, "So what do you think about the top 4 or the top 25 in college football?" And I was just like, "Pete, I ain't even looked at it yet. I've been so focused on the Mountain West and the Sun Belt. But, to go cap the SEC and the ACC, it ain't nothing, man. It's, a bunch of giants, a bunch of small fries, and you just go through them like that. But some of these smaller conferences is where the coaches change, more value in those because, 1, the bookies don't want to go check all that stuff out, and 2, they're on the rise, man. The Sun Belt, App State, they ready to play big teams, in the Mountain West, Boise State, San Jose State, San Diego, they all ready to play big teams. So I'm sticking over there, man. So y'all come get some of that information from me.
I love it. DJ Big Boss. I got to go shoot NFL future videos, but we have a special every Friday. We're going to show just and this is going to make Pete drool. All the stuff that we always dreamt of being able to do, we can now do with the great work of Jose. He's put together a little highlight package of the week So every Friday we'll play the highlight package of what's happened this past week, and we have that coming on right now. Follow DJ Big Boss and Peter Loshak on Twitter at Peter Loshak and at DJ Big Boss. And on behalf of Big Boss, Pete Loshak, Jose, everybody at Pub Sports Radio, thank you guys so much. It truly means the world to have you guys supporting our show, and we want it just to grow and grow and grow, work together to beat the books. So much love to all of you. Have an incredible weekend. Thank you for your support. And DJ Big Boss, you want to leche us out of here?
Leche!
I need him. The fall from grace continued. It was a disappointing day yesterday, but just being here for 2-3 minutes, I start feeling better. What are your thoughts here?
I think we have a frozen Noli too.
Frozen Noli. And sorry, there's a fucking birthday balloon here from Ella's birthday. It's up at 9.5, juice to the other. I can see this fucking balloon. I'm gonna fucking lose it. Oh man, oh god, I'm gonna be woo-wee. I'll be shirt off, briskly pacing back and forth watching this. Hylor Megal, these pigeons, they just no respect, just hammering away here with eyes. And the spreadsheet play of the day is the bounce back. And Ron Crawford, here we go. Spreadsheet play of the day is in. Spreadsheet play of the day gets rolling here. And the spreadsheet play of the day is in as well. The spreadsheet play of the day, San Francisco Giants. The Blue Jays as the spreadsheet play of the day. We must quickly stop. We have to stop everything because Taint is in. The Taint play of the day right now. And let's bring up old Rusty Kuntz. Resting very comfortably on the nutsack of Rusty Kuntz is the star of the play of the day, Turnsy. I'm at 1 for 4 with the single situations that I'm comfortable with. Okay, thank you, Ella. Have a great day at the playground. I got to get back to work. And this is what she gave me, by the way. This was the gift. Against Darvish, the Dodgers. Ella, come on. Ella, come on. Okay, you're good. Okay. Ella, you want to say a quick what up? Here, you got your toys out?
She wanted to not really
She
help us
doesn't
out.
want to. She just told you guys all to fuck off. And this is where the stakes get higher. Man who needs victories bad. The most important factor, I think, going on in our show right now is, well, our producer, Jose, has COVID. But it adds another layer of drama. Jose's mustache is just becoming stronger and shinier. And if he thinks he can just shave it and keep his role here, it's just going to be heartbreaking. But I think the pressure is getting to him. But because he wants to shave his mustache, not only that, he wants to shave it on this show. He also got hurt badly, in life. But he lost yesterday. He's on a 2-game losing streak. He's now 28-32, down 4.68 units, minus 7.80 ROI.
But I'm going back to the well. No run first inning again.
And you better give us a goddamn winner. Matty Ice says Darvish has owned LA, Scherzer struggles, and he says, I hate it, Jose. Oh, you're going to double up here.
I might have to.
Well, look, I want you to keep your job, Jose, and you just bullheaded.
Plan on shaving my mustache and then promptly getting fired. Okay. Right on Tuesday, right? I mean, we'll give out the play on Tuesday. We'll celebrate it.
No, there'll be no celebration. No.
I'll shave.
You shave on the show, we'll never see you again.
Where's the bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.